jobs report, America's employers added 151,000 jobs last month. Labor Department says healthcare, financial services, and transportation fields led the way in February hiring. The unemployment rate ticked up a notch to 4.1%.
The expectation was a gain of 160,000 jobs compared with January's figure of 140,000. The employment rate was forecast to stay at a low 4%. Anticipating the report, economist Lydia Beausour said, quote, despite rising concerns about the health of the economy, momentum remains positive, unquote. The Trump administration's efforts to downsize the federal government were not expected to impact the February numbers. George Williams reporting.
Temporarily on hold, steep U.S. tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports.
President Trump is postponing 25% tariffs on many imports from Mexico and some imports from Canada for a month. The president insists tariffs are about stopping smuggling of fentanyl.
We helped them out with the problem they were having.
Conversation with Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum.
Also, we discussed drugs, and they've been working much harder lately. Do you notice that?
The president's tariffs plans have sent stocks sinking.
I'm not even looking at the market because long term, the United States will be very strong with what's happening here.
The president says he is not looking to extend an exemption on auto tariffs for another month. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Use a scalpel, not a hatchet. President Trump's directive to DOJ when it comes to federal job cuts, says he wants to make sure that Uncle Sam keeps the cream of the workforce crop.
I don't want to see a big cut where a lot of good people are cut. I want the cabinet members to keep the good people, and the people that aren't doing a good job, that are unreliable, don't show up to work, etc., those people can be cut.
Watching Wall Street ahead of the opening bell, Dow futures 1 point higher. NASDAQ futures are up 46. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Russia targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure in a large-scale missile and drone attack during the night. Came hours after Ukrainian President Zelensky said that talks with the U.S. on ending the 3-year war will take place next week. Ukraine's energy chief says the country came under a massive missile and drone attack. Authorities report at least 10 people, including a child, were hurt. Russia has repeatedly targeted Ukraine's power grid over the course of the war. Police say a 17-year-old boy with a loaded shotgun boarded a plane in Australia before being restrained by a pilot and a couple of passengers. Police and a passenger say the boy climbed through a hole in the airport fence, posing as a maintenance worker to board the plane. The teen was disarmed and detained before police arrived on the scene at Avalon Airport in Victoria State. Police say the suspect is charged with unlawfully taking control of an aircraft. News and analysis, townhall.com. New research concludes that sex change surgery can trigger suicidal thoughts.
The University of Texas study found that 2 years after sex change procedures, the rates of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and drug abuse were significantly higher. Dr. Paul McHugh, former senior psychiatrist at Johns Hopkins Hospital, the first medical facility to undertake sex change operations in 1965, agrees with that, saying transgender surgery is not the solution, and that's why Johns Hopkins stopped performing the surgeries in 1979. The doctor said the hospital's research found that the surgeries did nothing to eliminate the mental anguish of those with gender dysphoria, and the suicide rate of those who undergo the surgeries is 20 times higher than those who do not. Tasha Stevens reporting.
President Trump has signed an executive order establishing a government reserve of Bitcoin, milestone in the cryptocurrency's journey toward potential mainstream acceptance. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy, finally, Friday.
And boy, howdy did we earn this one.
We blew into it.
My God, I'm so happy to put a bow on this bad boy.
Well, I think the city, Southeast New Mexico, should start a whole new TikTok recipe trend with every baked good, barbecued thing covered in a layer of just a sheen of dust.
Just a thin layer of dust. Actually, I kind of like
gives a little greedy.
A little bit of a grindy mouthfeel.
I don't know how many times yesterday I guess I walk around with my mouth open more than I realize, but I like it, and it's like,
no, you know what it is? You give somebody a smile on the street, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah. All day I kept like, why does it taste like I've been chewing on dirt?
Well, I like the way the sheriff put it. He's like, it's not dust, it's dirt.
Yeah.
Like it was like dirt blowing around, not just dust.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I mean, it was bad in parts, but once you got into the city limits, at least you know visibility was there.
Yeah. It was more like a foggy day. Yesterday afternoon when I was driving, it wasn't like a boob from the other day.
But yeah, Tuesday that was ridiculous. What was crazy was yesterday I was driving. I had to pick my daughter up from school and drop her off at her mom's house, and so I was on the outskirts of the city, and you could see these like columns of just brown blowing towards Roswell. Like they were like horsemen just on the horizon.
Gross domestic people. If that name don't work out, columns of brown. I'd recommend
columns of brown.
That's a good one
too. Absolutely.
File that one away. But yeah, that weather was and I don't think we're gonna get as dusty today, but it's another windy day today, and you
just can't let me enjoy.
I think Sunday's our day of nice weather. Like, are they still talking rain? I haven't really even looked at like the weather. Like,
Let me look.
Let me look at it. All right. Yeah, they're talking like a 10% chance of rain and all that tonight. Tomorrow we're still looking at a 60% chance.
Nice.
It says rain and snow, then rain. So it's probably more rain than snow.
Rain, yeah. Sleet maybe.
Our high tomorrow is 53. So yeah, it's gonna be rain. And then and then we're Sunday, sunny, 64, 5 to 10 mile an hour winds.
Oh, not too shabby.
So Sunday, the Lord's Day.
That's right.
A pleasant day. Temperature, weather-wise,
of course.
You make it what you will. But in the meantime,
and
prepare for wind blowing.
Weirdly busy weekend that we're gearing up for. We got basketball.
Yeah, we got basketball playoffs. Tune in tonight. Matter of fact, we're gonna have because we have once we're in playoff mode. Sometimes we can, like this first round, we're able to video some games and some we aren't. So tonight, the Goddard girls, they're the 16th seed. They're traveling to Kirtland Central. They're the 1 seed. They're going to play that game at 5 p.m. this evening. We will have that game here, audio only online, and here on the radio for you at KSVPTV.com right here on 106.5. We're going to have Emmett Fowler call that game for us, and so I'll make sure he gets on La Radio and keeps us up to date on what's going on there. And then tomorrow night, we got Roswell boys basketball action there. The 4 seed, they're going to be hosting the 13 seed Carlsbad here in the Coyote Den. We will have that game online video, ksvptv.com and the Coyote channel.
Yep.
Because it's at home. We got permissions. We can video that.
That's
I will tell you, this is the last weekend of that, because next week they go to Albuquerque or Rio Rancho. I guess.
Yeah, and we are barred.
And there will be no video. So whatever we have, if any teams advance this weekend, we'll carry those on the radio here between, if it's Roswell or Goddard, we'll have it here on 106.5. Artesia. And by the way, their playoff action, they're going to be on tonight as well. You can catch that on the radio and at ksvptv.com and the Bulldog channel.
Absolutely.
So Bulldog fans, they got plenty of basketball action for you this weekend too. I think both boys and girls are in action there.
Lots of sports ball.
Yes.
Sports go sports.
Absolutely. So we got all that. Of course, a big concert tomorrow night, which we'll talk with one of the bands out at the Liberty tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What else? There's more stuff. My brain just keeps going with it. Because I've got a busy weekend with family, and so my brain's kind of but that's not relevant to the rest of you. So that's not busy for you.
Well, it's the annual Showalter County Goat Scrub this weekend. Yeah,
very nice.
So get excited for that. By the way, if you're looking for that Roswell High game, you can find that on ksvptv.com under the Coyote channel.
Thank you. Yes.
Not the Coyote channel. The Coyote channel.
That's been a debate for 2 days now. It's been fun.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Everybody knows in this part of this neck of the woods, it's Coyote.
Right. And this is where I feel like sometimes I have to be the Sherpa for people. Because I'm not from here. I lived outside of here.
Right.
But I've been here 25 years, so I'm pretty well versed.
You're acclimated.
I'm here. I'm as native as not native you could be to be native, if that's
same
the thing.
Dude. I mean, I'm born and bred in Oklahoma, and kind of transplanted out here way out west, and I've been a native since I was 13.
But sometimes, people out here don't understand East Coast things,
the
way people think, and so I'm kind of that Sherpa, from their perspective, And then sometimes the other way goes the other way, where East Coast, and I'm like,
and you also have that
so I have to be that guy.
That luck of being, raised in that creamy middle between redneck South and, button down, North.
I'm a spit from a Ewins to a U-Haul.
Yeah, exactly. You're smack dab in the middle of that creamy
and neither
middle.
claimed us. I take a jaunt north, and they're Ewins me up, and you redneck, and then I go a half hour south, and like, you dang Yankee, and so it's
Ewins just feels like y'all had to come up with something when somebody put a gun to your head. It's like, you have a saying, Ewins. That doesn't even sound like a thing that was ever said.
It's just
until it became the thing.
It's a one word, 5 syllables.
All right.
Pennsylvania.
No, Pennsylvania.
I had the
4. Knee athlete.
They need the syllable.
They need every syllable they can get.
They do. But anyway.
Pennsylvanians address all complaints to Mike Winters, care of Pecos Valley Broadcasting.
That's right. Next week, we'll get on West Virginia.
Don't even get me started on Idaho. You dirty tater farmers.
But and then I can creep on down into Virginia, because that's an interesting state too.
Oh,
it's
Virginia's interesting, but West Virginia—that's where you really get interesting.
Yes and no. By the way, West Virginia's a beautiful state. Like, if you want to go see nature and the Appalachians and the creeks and all the things, like, that's West Virginia, man. It's beautiful.
Just don't venture into the townships.
Yeah, but don't get into the ginseng game. Whatever. Remember those shows?
Yes, I do. But
do they still air them?
I don't think they do. But that does remind me of a show that if you haven't seen, you should find. I think it's called Killing It. And I believe it's on Apple TV.
That sounds
It's
familiar.
got Craig Robinson on it.
Oh, yes. I've never watched it, but I've seen like the trailer or whatever for it. Yeah, that does
Basically,
look good.
the whole thing is this guy's dream is to open up a saw palmetto farm.
Yeah.
Because there's this one region in Florida where saw palmetto is like the only region in the world that it grows. And so he wants to open up a farm to grow saw palmetto, but to get the money to open up a farm. A lot of people don't know this. In that region of Florida, you can make a really good living just killing gators and taking them into like turning them in.
Oh yeah.
Like the carcasses or whatever.
Gotcha.
As like, conservation, wildlife conservation or whatever.
Sounds like the buffalo hunters from out
So,
west there.
yeah, this dude and his random sidekicks becomes a gator hunter to raise money for his saw palmetto farm. And it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's fantastic.
I remember seeing it thinking that looks good, and then it just kind of got lost in the shuffle out there. So, yeah, I'll bring that back up on the radar and check that one out. So, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We do have a full slate of guests and things for you for today's show. That's not the list I need. This is the one I need. We're going to start off here in just a few minutes. We're going to have, I guess, 3/4 of the band Gross Domestic People. Will, Jeff, and Jocelyn will join us here. And Jocelyn's going to double duty because she's going to be like running back and forth, running cameras. It's just, but they're going to be a big concert at the Liberty tomorrow night with Smile, Empty Soul, and Tantric. And they're going to be playing with those guys. So we'll have some fun with them here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, we're going to have Fred Telling join us. Fred is the chairman and CEO for the National Championship Air Races. So we'll get a chance to kind of chit-chat with him, and he's going to tell you, if you don't know what this is about, he's the guy to tell you. So we're going to talk all about that and just what's coming here in May and of course in September for the actual air races itself and all that too. So So we'll have a fun conversation with him. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell, she's going to pop in for her monthly visit, give us an update. Of course, recap, and they just had their air races meeting a week ago, last Thursday. And so they've had that, and they've got things coming up as well. So we'll get all the skinny from Barbara here about 9:15.
Going to be a busy few months as we gear up for what could be the racing event of southeastern New Mexico.
Yeah. To quote the great Ron Burgundy, it's kind of a big deal. Exactly.
Many leather-bound books.
Lots of mahogany.
Rich mahogany.
You know I don't speak Spanish. All right, it is 7:17. Let's get you up to date on the windy weather. It's only windy for one more day, though.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, but we have a cold front set to sweep in through the southwestern states tonight and tomorrow. Going up to 70 today, it will be a little windy with a few gusts around 40 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds. We're in the mid-30s. We have a slight chance of a few showers on Saturday. Afternoon highs will be cooler, right around 50, and then sunshine and warming up on Sunday, back to the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 44 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 45%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. Today, more of that patchy blowing. I guess the good news is, you know what they didn't do today? They didn't give me a bunch of red flag, high wind warnings and all that. So that is a good indicator that maybe the winds are less windy. But there's still going to be winds. There's still going to be patchy blowing dust this afternoon. Sunny. Expect a high of 70 today. Southwest winds 5 to 10 this morning. Those winds will increase 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour later this afternoon. We are looking at a 10% chance at some showers, really overnight. I mean, if you're waiting for it, they're talking like after 5 a.m., so it's really almost tomorrow morning. Mostly clear. Overnight low of 35. West winds 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. We are looking at a 50% chance, or excuse me, a 60% chance of moisture on Saturday. They're talking a slight chance of rain and snow showers before 8 a.m., then it just changing over to rain after that. Partly cloudy. Expect a high of only 53 on Saturday, so much colder. We're looking at about a 20-degree drop here. Winds will be out of the west, 15 to 20. I'm sorry. Those winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15. I'm sorry, I got looking up a day there. So winds won't be too bad compared to what we've been dealing with. And but if you're looking for snow, don't expect much. They're not expecting any kind of accumulations there. Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28. So it's going to be chilly Saturday into Sunday, freezing, below freezing. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10. And then Sunday, sunny, 64. North winds 5 to 10, and when you head back to work and school on Monday, sunny skies 73 for a high there. So weather looking pretty good after Saturday. Just got to get through Saturday. But we got moisture. If we get moisture, that's a good thing. It'll tamp down some dust. All right, it is 7:20. We're going to take about a 2-minute break here, and then we'll talk with the folks from Gross Domestic People. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Have you ever heard the phrase, he's too smart for his own good? That's a perfect description of Solomon. God had blessed him with the highest amount of wisdom ever known. Because of his wise choice to ask God for wisdom rather than everything else, God blessed Solomon with amazing riches, prosperity for Israel, and peace for his nation. How could he not be satisfied with all that God had given him? He had it all, yet it didn't seem to be enough. His personal desire for the things God had forbidden outweighed his loyalty to the one true God. Do you ever find yourself in the same place? You know what God wants from you, but your selfish desires have pulled you far away from God's will for your life. When Solomon dedicated the temple to God, he asked God to forgive he and his people when they sinned because he knew they would. No matter how far you strayed from God, if you truly want to change, he wants to forgive. He wants you to be his. You just have to come and take that step.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Get ready, Artesia. The main event car show and cruise is rolling into town Friday, March 28th and Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Friday night, we're kicking things off at 6 p.m. with the Main Street Cruise. Watch as classic cars, hot rods, and muscle cars take over Main Street, cruising by the decade. It's a moving history lesson with a whole lot more horsepower. Then Saturday from 9 to 3, downtown Artesia transforms into the ultimate car lover's paradise. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, bikes, even tractors. It's free family fun with music, friendly competition, and more. Want in on the action? Register your ride at artesiachamber.com or stop by 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The main event car show and cruise, March 28th and 29th in downtown Artesia. Brought to you by the Artesia Car Enthusiasts, Artesia Chamber, and Artesia Main Street. Paid for by Artesia Luggage Tax.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, 3/4 of the band Gross Domestic. Well, 2/4. The third will be in a second here.
You gotta reduce that fraction, bro.
But we have Will, Jeff, and of course Jocelyn, our very own Jocelyn, with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How we doing?
Welcome in, and come on. How's life been going?
Good.
It's as a band, you guys kind of get a unique perspective of Roswell sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get, because you see it all. You see, you have your day jobs, you do your 9-to-5ers, you're doing all that, and your life, family lives, and all that. But then you see the night scene, and you see what goes on in the arts community, and seeing it. And really, the town's got two different vibes. It really does have a nightlife. Believe it or not, people will kind of joke when you say something like that. But no, there's a lot of cool stuff going on almost on a nightly basis somewhere around town.
There's always something in Roswell to do. I hate when people complain that there's nothing to do in Roswell. It's like because you ain't looking.
Right. Try it, or you have zero interest. Then maybe that's the thing. Maybe the problem's you.
Open your horizon. Maybe if you're not into rock shows, give one a try.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe you stop being it. But this is kind of a cool thing. This is where you guys get to be rock stars and fanboys at the same time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For nights like this. Because of course tomorrow night at the Liberty, big concert with Smile, Empty Soul, Tantric, and you guys will be playing there as well here too. And obviously folks that are in rock, that love rock genre, particularly early 2000s, late 90s, that era, you're probably very familiar with the two bands I mentioned here before. And,
I'm older than that, but I still know who they are.
But I was doing a lot of music, music side of radio back when these guys were kind of getting their chops, so to speak, or getting their in the big leagues kind of thing. So, but but you guys, because we've talked about this before, you go there, but you guys go other. I think last time I think it was Will wasn't there. It was you.
It was
two
me
of us.
Jocelyn.
We were talking, and we were kind of like labels. And like, well, I can give you labels. I don't know if I can give you label. Right. Of what we are. Yeah. And because you guys you'll dip a toe in obviously rock or some of the heavy stuff, but then you go very alternative or, maybe slipping into, like rock does sometimes. Next thing you know, we're like, is that reggae? Yeah.
We certainly do, man. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves on, and we always promise everybody when you come to a GDP show, man, Gross and Mystic People has something for everybody. Yeah. If you like something heavy, like you said, there's something in our set that you're going to enjoy. If you like something on the alternative, lighter rock side, there's something you're going to enjoy. But I feel like we do a pretty good job as a band, like blending all those and making it work together as well.
And I'm not gonna. And this is where I think it's you guys, the band. You guys aren't 17-year-old kids, doing the grind. You ain't piling the van. And you guys are like me, seasoned a little bit. I think I'm a little more seasoned, but seasoned. Seasoned nonetheless. But I think that's why your band is what your band is, because humans evolve as you live and as your experiences, and so what you like at 17 is not going to necessarily be what you like at say 30 or 40. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm going to say I think your music's evolved, because like for you, Will, I know back in the day you're
yes sir.
How's Will talk tomorrow?
Hey, now don't get me wrong, we still do a little bit of that.
Yeah, there is a little. But Will's like, let me tickle the ivories a little bit here. All right, he'll get a little, singing now and get deeper with it and get deeper with the music. And I'm Jeff, I'm sure you've done the same with your music. Jocelyn, as you do it, you get better, deeper, you get into more things, you try, That's why bands have been doing for 30 years. They're so amazing because they've probably forgotten more than you've learned in their course of their
we've definitely come a long way from the first album.
Sure. I'm sure.
It's definitely better.
Like, because we're always our own worst critics. Yeah. Do you like, no, I don't even want to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're like, everyone else is like, no, that's pretty good. And I was like, and you're like, no,
it's funny because sometimes, after not hearing some of the older stuff for a little while, I'll go back and give it a listen and be like, man, this was pretty good. We haven't played this song in a long time. And then I'll listen to it, over the course of a couple of weeks, a couple more times. And by the third or fourth time, I'm like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah. Well, and that's also music. I don't I don't know how many, I don't think I can listen to any song. I don't care, genre, type, doesn't matter. You can't listen to once and get the whole, you know what I mean? You might get I like it or not like it, but songs you don't like, listen to 3 or 4 times, you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, I can catch that the first time. You know what I mean? Things you say you absolutely hate, with the exception of UB40, I still stand on that one.
I'm kind of on board.
Give it a try.
Right.
Red winds up. Like, if I go to hell, pretty sure that's the song that's going to be playing on loop.
It'll be their version, not the good one.
But with our music, people kind of have come up to me after they've heard the set, and they've said, "Well, it's a roller coaster because we'll bring you up, and then we'll kind of bring you down, and then we'll bring you up again." So,
but that's what music's supposed to do.
Yep.
Like if you ain't feeling something, you ain't doing it right.
Emotions, and I always say, if you're not feeling the emotion out there, then we're not doing it right.
I think that's kind of our goal, is to make sure we take you on a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Sure. So for you guys, for the writing and all that, is it collaborative? Is it one, or is it? But is it? Does like one person come with an idea and then everyone fleshes it out, or is it?
Yeah,
how does it work?
Usually, and it never starts with the same person twice, really. It's, somebody will have an idea. Like sometimes warming up, I'll start playing a drum beat I've never played, and then Jocelyn will be like, "Hey, I got something for that."
Okay. So sometimes it's organic. Y'all just kind of goofing around and magic happens.
A couple times, Carlos has come in and be like, "Here, I already wrote every part."
Sure.
He's our guitarist that's not here, in case you guys are wondering.
He's the
we have a puppy.
The four.
That's why.
He's number 4.
Sometimes they'll come in and be like, "I already wrote all the parts. Here you go," and then we'll work out and flush out our parts, and then we'll have a song.
Nice. So it kind of now does it kind of do you like certain songs? Do you kind of like, all right, I since I wrote more, do you kind of take more ownership sometimes? Like is there certain
not really.
Maybe Will was a little bit more and Will's like, this is kind of my song, or vice versa? Or
It's all collaborative.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay.
we all just kind of put in our parts, and
Okay.
we're.
I know you gotta have favorite parts. I'm sure like, we're coming to the part
definitely.
I like. Hold on. Let me peek a little bit. Hold on.
Wait, it's funny because we have a song, and if you guys hear our stuff, our last studio release, the first song on the album has a drum solo on it. I was so against that. And I tried to talk them out of it. I was like, no, I'm not putting the drum solo on the first song on the album. And they eventually talked me into it. Now it's like one of our best songs.
You know what? You never. Sometimes the things you don't think are going to stick are the things that stick. Sometimes, like what people gravitate to, what people and you know what? Sometimes maybe as artists, like the thing you or maybe thing you're like that drum solo because it's you. Like, I'm sure there's the mixed emotion of I don't want to look like I'm some kind of egomaniac,
right?
But I don't want them to crap on it either because this is my heart and my soul sitting on this thing. You know?
It's
and I think
definitely
we
a
all kind
balance.
of have that. We all have that kind of fear of like, well, if I throw this out, is it going to stick or is it going to, you know?
But I think that's what makes you guys as a band better because like when each individual has that moment, y'all can kind of work yourselves through it. And so it's like, no. Right. Peacock, man. No, let's do that right there. Let's strut your stuff right there. Or let's do
and
this.
It's constructive criticism too. You know, we've learned to if something doesn't sound right.
Sure, not all of them are gems.
It's like, if it doesn't sound right, like let's take it back over here, or let's try this, or something different. So,
I get, but that's the band, and that's the band life, and that's you're a family. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a family, and
we figured that out on tour.
When you're living together 24/7.
Oh yeah.
So how often do you guys? Because you guys have lives. You have day jobs. You can't just pack up and leave for a month and not have ramifications for that. You know what I mean? How do you navigate some of that stuff?
So we've only done really one real tour.
Gotcha.
I mean, we've played lots of out of town shows.
Sure, but nothing like where we'll see you in 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And for the most part, though, we kind of just stay at home. We like to write music. We basically have a whole nother album written at this point.
Nice.
We love working with the Liberty. Josh over at the Liberty, big shout out to them. They're a big part of the nightlife in Roswell, and they bring us in and let us open for some of our heroes.
Sure.
You know,
and I was going to say that's one of the few.
It's awesome.
You know, there's not many places short of going to Albuquerque or Lubbock or something like that where you can get that quality of, or that level of music here in Roswell. So, because I ain't going to lie, I would, if you would have asked me in 05, if Smiling to Soul coming around,
Roswell,
Georgia, man, like you're going to do a gig in Atlanta. What are you talking about?
that we've opened for, I wouldn't have expected to even to be here at all.
Right.
So it's, I mean, it's an honor to go on it and open for those bands.
So and I know you and I have talked about this because you guys have opened for pretty much any. Whenever there's a bands of this caliber, when they come through, you guys a lot of times have been, either in the room or playing with them or something. Is that because I imagine it's a good, bad, ugly? Because I imagine sometimes these guys are cool and they're very cool. And you're like, man, that was cool. And then people you maybe built up weren't as cool as you thought they were, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You run in a little bit of that. And
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, most of the artists we worked with are cool.
That's cool.
You know, some of them, they just stay on their bus or stay in the back.
Sure.
And they only want to be seen during the set, and then they're done and stuff. But we've, like, every show we've played over there, we have found something in common with one of the bands and hung out.
That's
Whether
cool.
it be the main band or one of the opening acts that's
Sure.
on tour, you know. And we always find somebody we click with.
And it's connections, too. Because,
Yes.
I mean, let's face it. These people are connected, too. They've been in the industry. They've been to the highest levels. And you never know. They might drop a name, say, oh, yeah, I remember these guys from Roswell. You ought to look them up. And next thing you know.
Definitely connected with that. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say, yeah, it's cool. No, there's been a lot of people that I've gotten into contact with and stayed in touch with. We've got standing invites with a lot of the bands that we've played with previously. We've followed up on a couple of them and reconnected with some of these bands and played some shows in their towns or around, and some tour managers and stuff that I'm still in contact with.
Yeah.
And it's just it's all about timing, like you said, right? Like we all have our families and
Sure.
our day jobs and everything, so it's kind of working around that. So most of the time, like what works out best for us is to plan, hey, this weekend let's shoot out to the Lubbock area and play, you know, a Friday and a Saturday night in that area, you know, or in the following weekend we'll jet over to, you know, the Albuquerque area, play a couple of shows out there, and kind of do it that way. When we can all line it up to get some time off, you know, from our jobs at the same time. All right, cool. Let's burn a week of vacation to go and do some shows out of town.
Sure. And I imagine, too, with some of that, because, like, when you go to these other places, you're meeting some of their local bands and making other connections.
Yep.
So, because, again, these weekend trips, that's a lot of money, and I'm sure they're not paying you, you know, big bucks to do these shows.
Right.
You probably lose money at the end of the day if you're staying in hotels and all that stuff. So making connections, crash at the band's house, and that's how you kind of, we can break even this weekend.
We discussed, like, the disadvantages of being, like, you know, grown folk, I guess we could call us. You know, we can't just drop everything and go on tour for 2 months and stuff. But one of the advantages of that is we got PTO. I'll go play a gig and still get my regular pay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, there's pros and cons. Man.
Hey, in a couple of years, retirement check comes in, be like, I'm getting a retirement check. I just do what I want.
Right.
I'm just jamming.
Right?
It's a few years. But
I'll never give up music, ever.
You know, we're able to play these little surrounding towns. We played Clovis and Portales and different areas you know, that we've been at. So it's,
and you start building a following that
Yeah.
way. You know, imagine you hit Clovis or you hit Albuquerque or Lubbock now. You know, those guys are great. Let's go back and see them again. And you know that you build the circles, you build the networking, you build it, and that's what. And the cool part is, and this is where maybe we're kind of blessed, is we're in that time with the internet, with everything else. You don't need a record label to get your stuff out there. You know, there was
not at all.
You know, 20 years ago, there was one way, and it was the way. And if you didn't kiss the butts and kiss the ring on the way up, then you weren't going to get in there. Now, you got some equipment and you know, internet. You can you can get your art out there.
You just have to have a solid product.
You know. But you're also, like you said, the trash will take itself out, and that's how the world, the internet is you know, the good stuff rises to the top. The other stuff, it'll get taken care of.
How difficult it is weeds out a lot of people too. You know, I mean, how many people? I mean, I'm sure lots, but you know, not everyone has the stamina to keep going for 5, 10, 15 years and just do it purely as a hobby, and that's what we all did.
And I think that's where maybe your success is, because you know. It's easy for people to, because you guys, like, the music industry is hard. You know, for every Taylor Swift, there's a million people you never heard of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And some are more talented, so.
Exactly. And it's not about ability and skill level. You know, there is people that are amazing musicians, but you'll never see them in a 50,000 stadium or anything like that. That's just never gonna happen.
But usually, them bands are the ones you want to see in the small venues anyway. Honestly, they just blow you away in those places.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have told me, that they would rather see in a smaller venue like the Liberty instead
of some of the best shows. Yeah, that's kind of
it's a more intimate setting,
especially these bands that these like these guys are used to playing arenas and place, and so when they get a chance to have an intimate audience, they have fun, and so that's why shows at the Liberty are great. So if you haven't got your tickets yet for tomorrow night, I highly recommend go to thelibertyinc.com, get your tickets.
Yes.
I think on your Facebook you guys have links as well to.
Yes.
So if you're Facebook or social, go to the Gross Domestic People Facebook page. They've got links to the Liberty to get your tickets and all that too.
Yes.
Or you can just go directly to thelibertyinc.com and get your
on that subject, we are completely out of physical tickets, with the exception of 2 that we'd like to give away on your show, and I'll let Will take care of that part.
Okay.
If we're ready to go, I'll explain that now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, explain it, and then I will give it away here when because Jocelyn's got to answer the phone.
Well, I think we're just going to do it through like social media.
Oh,
that way
cool. Yeah.
you guys
Sweet,
didn't
sweet.
have
Okay.
to handle the
Oh,
transfer.
nice. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, do
All
it
right.
through the social media. That's
So a quick heads up, if you're still needing tickets, like you said, libertyinc.com to get your tickets online. I think today would be the last day to get tickets for tomorrow at the Liberty, at their office in person. I believe they're doing No Fee Friday as usual. So it'd be the last.
If you know, you know. That's a kind of way to kind of save a few bucks.
Exactly.
Do it, right?
So it'd be your last chance to save a few bucks. Other than that, like Jeff said, we have a pair of tickets I would like to give away. And basically, what we'll do is let's go Facebook because we're kind of old like that, and that's what we use.
That's right. We're not 18-year-olds. We still use Facebook.
So we were trying to figure out how to get into our band Instagram in the lobby, and we couldn't do it.
I have one of those too, but I'm like, I know the pain.
So basically, what we want to see you do is go get on your Facebook. Go find the event page. You can find it on the Liberties page. You can find it on our page, Gross Domestic People on Facebook. Share the event. And when you share it, post support local and tag Gross Domestic People. So that way we see it come up.
Nice.
And this evening, when we get together, for rehearsal tonight, we'll go through, we'll look at who has, done that and who's going to enter. And we'll
proclaim a winner.
Maybe we'll literally throw some dice or something to figure out who wins.
Right.
That's right. Or someone got a hat. Someone's got a hat, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a band. There's a hat around. There's got to be at least one top hat somewhere around.
We'll have hats for sale at the gig. We have GDP hats just in case.
And hoodies.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, and hoodies.
But say you guys going to have swag and everything available for sale?
Yeah, as always, we'll have our full store set up over in the merch area at the Liberty tomorrow night.
I'm telling you, if you want to support local music, that's the best way you can do it. Buy shirts, please. Buy CDs, buy whatever merch they've got, because that's what pays for gas in the van. That's what pays for the next gig. That's what pays for whatever if they got to crash at a hotel.
Our next tour, hopefully.
Yes. So. That's what pays the fees to get the next album made.
And that being said, usually it's kind of set up like in an L shape, and we're at the very end. So as you make your way over to the merch table, make sure you stop by and see these touring bands.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Grab a shirt, grab a hat, grab something from them. And then come see us.
Yeah,
those are the guys, like you said, that are on the road.
Tantric,
for gas and everything.
Soul, these guys.
And I promise you, we'll be there at the end of the line waiting for you.
Yep.
And if you're not familiar with those bands, check them out. They're very good. If you love rock and maybe you're an older hat rocker or newer to the scene or something, you just missed their window of their kind of when they were relevant or big. Check it out.
Well, I encourage people to come out and hang out with us because we're cool people.
We are.
It's very social.
Talk to us and
come have
have
Liberty.
beer or,
come, and that's it too.
Yeah.
Usually they have great food specials.
Yeah.
They'll have
Yeah.
usually they do a couple special menu items depending on
special
the theme
drinks,
of the night
I think
kind of thing.
Special drinks and certain dishes, foods that they have.
And their food's always good.
Yeah, food's good. It's easy to navigate because they have a cool little app system on your phones and all that. You can literally just boom, 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 and then someone shows up with some nachos.
Yeah.
Right. And then if anyone's coming, to see us specifically, awesome, thank you. I really appreciate that. And
you guys are
we love
open,
you.
so get there early.
And if you're a casual GDP fan, like you've seen us a couple times, you'll notice a lot of new music because we're going to be playing a lot of stuff we have not recorded or released yet.
Okay.
We're working it out.
Some of the new cuts.
Yes, and then even if you've been to every single GDP show, you're an avid fan, you've heard everything we've released, we have a brand new one no one's ever heard but us.
All
that
right.
we'll be playing tomorrow night.
A tomorrow night exclusive.
Yes. And that's it. I think this is the first time we premiered a song at the Liberty, so this should be interesting.
Well, it's a good night to do it with two great bands you guys will be playing with that night, and it's going to be a lot of fun at the Liberty
and
here
it's on
too.
a Saturday, so whoever has to work on a Sunday.
It's on Saturday, so you can sleep in. You can stay up a little late Saturday night. So all you rest of you 40-years are ready to go to bed at 8 o'clock. We normally are. You can hang
It's
out
Saturday.
stay up till 10, man.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that.
Everyone in this room is, I'm very sure.
I have to take a nap to make it through that show.
Right?
I mean,
Like Jeopardy's on TV. I'm like, it's about bedtime, right?
It's like, oh, we're already in bed. It's
Right.
Absolutely. And of course, if you want to kind of see more, look for Gross Domestic People on Facebook. Do you guys have a website and everything, or just do social media?
We do. It's shop. The actual website is shopgdp.squaresite.
Okay.
But there's links to that on our Facebook. I know everybody's got Facebook
So
app
if you
or
can get
Instagram
some,
and all that.
so if you want to ship some merch to some
Yep.
friends
Absolutely,
and things
we
like
can, yeah.
that,
Yep.
or if you want to, or well, I don't know if you'll have it ready for tomorrow night, but I'll say if you want to come geared up.
And we're now on X. We have a pretty good presence on X or Twitter, whichever you want to call it. I call it both.
Yeah, and I think they still do too.
And we post a lot of stuff about like our name and what it means and things like that on X.
Good deal.
Yep.
I guess what was it? I forgot. See, that's my problem. I come up with all these great names and I forget an hour. The one I had earlier, it was something about brown columns. I can't remember what it was. Whatever Sean said.
Something that had to do with the dirt.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of a game Sean and I played just weirdly over the years. I mean, because Sean and I have known each other. Well, you know, Will.
Yeah.
And so we just sometimes we speak a language to each other that people are like, what? I didn't even know you're I'm sure you guys do the same thing in your band.
Oh, yeah. Especially the music language, Like, we'll just make noises at each other and be like, I got you.
So before we kind of go, because I know you guys got day jobs and everything else.
Yeah, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, this is early lunch break for us.
I told them it's 7:15. Come on.
Absolutely.
And it's a good thing Jocelyn reminded me. I was sitting in the parking lot at work. She's like, hey, you got an interview? I'm like,
yeah. See? It's always the bass player keeping everybody wrangled.
The bass player, you guys would think it's a drummer. It's the bass player that always keeps everyone in time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the bass is the, drum, because sometimes the drummer goes nuts. Then the bass player's like, get back in here.
Yep.
Come on.
I have to tell Jeff, okay,
This ain't white
calm
belt.
down.
Come on back.
Calm down, Jeff.
And then sometimes the front man gets all,
Yep.
and then, or the guitarist like, no, the solo's not that.
Well, we
long.
just
Get
have to
back on
stop
it.
Will from climbing on risers and roofs and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
climbing on roofs and
Who,
whatnot.
me?
Well, it's live music. Everybody gets emotional.
We have
Everybody
to
has
give
fun.
them a
and-
show.
Yeah.
We have fun up there.
That's the beauty of it.
What would be the point of us being up there and standing like statues?
Well, I mean, then that I think that's like I call that a middle school concert. That's kind of like what I mean? Like we all went for concerts. All right, chorus, stand straight. That's that. If you want that, go to middle schools and high schools. They got great ones.
I'm forced to sit down for the whole set, so I try to, use my upper body to, notice me.
It's like, look at me.
I'm back here.
Chucking sticks.
Right. I haven't done that yet. I don't know, because I got hit with a stick years ago, and I'm like, I'll never throw sticks in the crowd now.
And sticks can be pricey. Just saying,
but we
ain't
did have
guitar
a cymbal
picks.
roll into the crowd.
Well, you buy guitar picks and they just hand you a whole big box of them.
Right.
Sticks are expensive.
Yeah, they are. If any stick companies want to sponsor me.
There you go. You and Lars, man. They sponsor me up, man.
I'm always looking for sponsorships.
Well, and like I said, we're getting some run, getting some shine. You guys are all over kind of southeast of Mexico right now.
Yep.
At one weekend at a time, kind of.
With a premier desert rock band of the area.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So what's kind of after tonight? What's or I mean not tonight, tomorrow night. If after tomorrow night, what do you got on the burner here going on?
We're in touch with some friends looking at trying to get back up to Albuquerque, make it back out to the Clovis area. We got some friends out there, and then we'll see what happens this summer. We'd like to do another short run at least.
We like to tour when it's warmer.
Yes.
Right.
Winter is more riding.
Yeah. But I'm not going back to Arizona in July again. Okay?
I mean,
that was a mistake.
That's just dumbness.
We were just excited. Like,
yeah. There's a reason all the people go to Arizona in the winter.
Right.
Speaking of, shout out to the milkman.
Yes. I told that whole story
we
on
have
a
to tell you,
podcast recently.
Very cool. So, tomorrow night at the Liberty, come out and see not only Smile Empty Soul and Tantric, but Gross Domestic People come on out and have some fun here. Doors open. What's 6 o'clock?
Yes.
And then what time are you guys going to get on?
Probably 7.
About 7.
Yeah, but get there early.
Yeah.
Come early, come mingle, get something to eat.
If you want, they have tables.
Yeah.
And get your spot.
It's a real chill atmosphere.
Yeah.
You can come in and sit down and just relax, have a drink, and then just come out for a fun night of music.
And we're very approachable. If you see us out in the parking lot at the Liberty and stuff, come up, say hi.
Yeah.
Especially me. You all know me. I'll talk your ear off.
You buy swag and want it signed, they'll be happy to sign it
Right.
for you, hang out to you. But yeah, come out and have some fun. Come bring a date, bring your friends. Come out, let's pack the Liberty
Hang out.
with just a great night of music and fun and everything from.
And it's all ages.
Yeah, and it's all ages.
With adults, bring your kids. My daughter will probably be there for a while, so.
It's a fun
my
show.
kids always come.
Yep.
They always hang out.
Yeah.
My son ends up running the merch table.
Right?
Yeah.
I was about to say, they usually, that's your roadies, right?
Yeah.
Your kids.
I usually put them to work.
You guys, again, see, you're 18-year-olds.
Right.
You still got to haul the equipment. Them young backs are good.
Oh,
We got kids. They're the ones hauling the amps.
Yeah. Definitely.
I need you to run the merch table. Okay, Mom.
Not all band play is front and center rock star stuff. Sometimes you get in your hands dirty a little bit.
We definitely have to move our own crap.
I've never seen a local band that hasn't spent time with duct tape.
Yep.
AV wires.
Something.
They're usually running them and taping them to things.
Trying to figure out why I can't get sound out of this damn amp.
Why this is over hot.
It was working yesterday.
What's bleeding in to cause that feedback over here?
Yeah.
As a guy in radio, I know that pain.
Yep.
But get your tickets, thelibertyinc.com, or like you said, take advantage of their no-fee Friday deal by coming to their office there and getting tickets for tomorrow night. And don't forget, when you get a chance of win a chance of free tickets, visit Gross Domestic People's Facebook page and do what you need to do there and follow the instructions accordingly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good deal.
Once again, if I can just remind them, just share the event. Share the
event
page.
Yeah,
share the event page,
Absolutely.
and when you post it, just post support local and tag Gross Domestic People. That way we see it come up.
Yeah, if you don't tag us, we might not see it. So.
Yeah, that's right. You got to. People that we're talking to are younger. That's a lot of instructions from like tag, hashtag. Hold on. A little slow. And
That's easy. Just start writing.
But those folks do it all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
just start writing in gross. It'll pop up.
There you go.
If you follow our page, it works that way.
But share it and hashtag it, and that's the big thing.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I think if you start like you said, gross, it should because it's enough people have done it. It's I know what you're trying to do,
especially locally.
That's when that's when the autocorrects or whatever help or your friends. Sometimes.
Yeah, the autofill can work.
Yes, absolutely. But guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mike.
And we will see you all tomorrow night.
Definitely.
And have some fun, break a leg, and
thank you.
Who knows? Yeah, you know what? Also be. And this is maybe down the road. What if we like? It wouldn't be kind of. We just had like. Maybe we get like local bands, like some of your friends from Albuquerque, and they just come and did a whole jam festival. I don't know. It doesn't have to even be Roswell. Just
we are working on something like that. And then, maybe this year's LibFest will have a few more friends down from Albuquerque like we have in the past.
I think that would be just so much fun if you can get partners to do that because there's a great music scene. And
there is.
Regardless of what your taste in music is, there's bands throughout this town. If it's not Gross Domestic People's cup of tea, there's so many other great bands that do stuff.
I used to do booking here, and what I tell bands, when they want to come through, and this is something I stand by with Roswell, no matter what you turn out, it could be a packed house, it could be 10 people, you're going to sell merch. This town buys merch.
Yep.
We've never failed to make more on merch than we did on the show. Every time.
Yeah, they support here. And
yes,
it's
absolutely.
It's a good thing. So, and then that's why when you go to Walmart, you see all those great band T-shirts and everything around.
Yeah.
Go to Target or wherever stores it at.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
All right, 7:53. Time to shut my hole for some news and a few commercials. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health confirming that the deceased resident of Lee County who was unvaccinated tested positive for measles. The official cause of death still under investigation by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator. However, Department of Health Scientific Lab has confirmed the presence of the measles virus. The individual did not seek medical care before passing away. The only prevention, according to experts, for the highly contagious respiratory illness is vaccination. With ongoing exposures in Lee County, the New Mexico Department of Health is urging residents to get vaccinated to protect themselves and their families. Carlsbad Caverns National Park has instituted some preventative measures due to extreme wildfire danger. Fire, charcoal, and propane grills are now strictly prohibited. Smoking is also prohibited except inside personal vehicles, and open flames and cooking stoves are now not allowed in the backcountry. The increased fire danger is due to prolonged hot, dry, and windy weather. These factors result in extremely dry vegetation that is highly susceptible to even the smallest spark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Full slate of basketball tonight and tomorrow. It's the first round of the state playoffs. Let's start on the girls' side where Roswell, the 14th seed, plays at number 3 Mayfield tonight at 6 o'clock. Goddard, the 16th seed in 4A, plays top-seeded Kirtland Central this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Dexter, 15th seed in 3A, at number 2 West Las Vegas. That starts at 6. And Gateway Christian, 11th seed in 1A, at number 6 Cliff. That's the same matchup for the boys' side tomorrow. Gateway Christian, the 9th seed. Cliff is the 8th seed. For Class 2A, Hagerman, the 10th seed, at number 7 Rehoboth. That's tomorrow at 3. NMMI, the 12th seed in Class 3A, at number 5 Bosque. 16th seeded Goddard in 4A at number 1 St. Pius, and 4th seeded Roswell will be playing host to Carlsbad tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bernie Bennett. At an executive order signing Thursday, President Donald Trump said imports from Mexico that comply with the 2020 Trade Pact will be excluded from the 25% tariffs for a month.
And I spoke to the president of Mexico, wonderful woman, today, and we helped them out with the problem they were having to do with the tariffs, short-term tariffs. And we had a very good conversation.
Canadian government officials say Canada's initial retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. will remain in place for now, despite President Trump postponing 25% tariffs on many imports from Canada for a month. Walgreens Boots Alliance says it has agreed to be acquired by the private equity firm Sycamore Partners as the struggling retailer looks to turn itself around after years of losing money. Walgreens says Sycamore will pay $11.45 per share, giving the deal an equity value of just under $10 billion. For the Wall Street Business Report, Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The need for American-made energy is forecasted to increase by over 50% over the next couple of decades. Coyote Willow Energy Park is a resilient, clean, and affordable solution to this increasing demand being planned in Chavez County. Join us at the Coyote Willow Energy Park Open House to learn more about the role Chavez County can play in meeting the need for an increased supply of reliable domestic energy. The project will provide a significant amount of new local job opportunities, millions of dollars in new local tax revenue and local investments, plus it helps lower greenhouse gas emissions and improves grid reliability. It's a win for the local economy and the future of Chavez County. Stop by the Chavez County Joy Center in Roswell on March 27th between 5:30 and 8 p.m. Meet the team, ask questions, and discover how Coyote Willow Energy Park is powering a brighter future for Chavez County. Visit www.coyotewillowep.com to learn more and RSVP.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy, and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Good morning. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump reaches out to Iran, looking to negotiate a nuclear deal. Mr. Trump tells Fox Business he has sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader. American employers grew their payrolls by 151,000 jobs last month. Labor Department says the unemployment rate rose a tenth of a point to 4.1%. Following a Wall Street sell-off, President Trump is temporarily backtracking on the imposition of steep tariffs on Canada and Mexico, although the president insists the move has nothing to do with the stock market performance.
In a reversal, the president is delaying the 25% tariffs on many Canadian and Mexican imports. This is the second one-month postponement since he first unveiled the import taxes early last month. The threatened tariffs have jeopardized relations with America's two neighbors, and the plans have caused the stock market to sink. The president says he still plans to impose reciprocal tariffs starting in early April. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Presidential envoy Keith Kellogg says Ukrainian President Zelensky has only himself to blame for President Trump pausing military aid to and intelligence sharing with Ukraine.
You don't try to challenge the President of the United States in the Oval Office that, in fact, you need to side with me and not the Russians. You don't become an independent interlocutor if you look at something like that. And he was forewarned. It's not like President Zelensky was not made aware that this is what we wanted out of the Ukrainians, to basically say, go here, it sets the next stage, it opens up, it goes forward.
Saudi Arabia will host talks next week between high-level American and Ukrainian officials. Those discussions focus on ending the war with Russia as well as the U.S. minerals deal with Ukraine. Wall Street, the Dow is up 63 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The world's second largest economy got off to a rather sluggish start this year.
China has released its latest trade figures, which show it imported a lot less in January to February than last year. Imports fell almost 8.5%, while its exports grew less than expected. The data comes a day after Beijing set a growth target of about 5% for this year, despite facing challenges such as the ongoing property crisis, high youth unemployment, and the trade war with the U.S.
The BBC's Marika Oy. Eurostar trains to London and all trains heading to northern France were brought to a halt earlier today following discovery of an unexploded World War II-era bomb near the tracks. Bombs left over from World Wars I or II are routinely discovered around France, but it's highly unusual to find them in such a people-packed location. Typically, the explosives in those busy locations were found and neutralized decades ago. Townhall.com. The monarch butterfly population wintering in the mountains west of Mexico City rebounded this year.
They doubled the area they covered in 2024. The annual butterfly count doesn't calculate the individual number of butterflies, but rather the number of acres they cover as they gather on tree branches in the mountain pine and fir forests. Monarchs from east of the Rocky Mountains in the United States and Canada winter there. Mexico's Commission for National Protected Areas said that this year, butterflies covered 4.4 acres compared to only 2.2 acres the year before. Keith Peters reported.
First, it was Fort Bragg, named for a Confederate general. Then it was Fort Liberty. Now the North Carolina Army base set to officially become Fort Bragg again. Only this time in honor of World War II paratrooper and Silver Star recipient PFC Roland L. Bragg of Maine. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy, oh so happy Friday to you.
Mm-hmm.
We made it to Friday.
Yes.
We got blown in on the midnight train to wind.
Man.
But happy Friday.
You know, and I know the whole, I try to live my life by the edict, by the mindset that 100 bad days made 100 good stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a lot of good stories were made this week.
Yep. And all involving dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And which orifice we picked it out of.
But good news is, we're kind of starting to see the light at the end of this little windy tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe?
The wind tunnel?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, today's going to be another, blowing dust, gust to 30 kind of day.
Yeah, but that's gust up to 30.
Yeah.
Yesterday was gust up to 50.
And you know what? There's none of the red flag warnings and high wind warnings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For the last 3 days, that's been on the weather report.
Mm-hmm.
Not today. But they still have dust. And then tomorrow's going to be moisture day.
Yep. Which hopefully will tamp down some of that dust.
We need the moisture.
Nothing else.
We don't need flooding moisture, but we need, we need some rain.
There's a limit, I mean,
we don't need it all at once. But we do. So I think tomorrow, and if you're waiting for snow, it looks like it's mostly going to be rain. Like you might see some snow flurries, but it looks like it's going to be mostly in the form, because we're looking like a 10% tonight, but tomorrow's like a 60% chance. So.
Right. Dimitri Martin, comedian, has one of my favorite jokes. He goes, I think it would probably suck a lot less to die by drowning if you were really, really thirsty first. You're like, oh my God, it's really in some water. Okay. No, that's good. Okay, guys, stop. Like, that's just, when you said, yeah, we need a little moisture. I'm just like, I think that was the flood. It was like, no, we need a little, that's
enough.
Oh, wait, okay, no, we're good. Oh my God, stop. Okay, stop. No, trucks are floating. Stop.
Turn off the spigot. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. But so we hopefully, although I know, we know that bigger the number, the less likely it doesn't happen.
Well, and this is
like
one of those.
Tonight's at 10%, we're gonna get wet.
This is one of those facts that gets brought up.
Oh yeah, about the round
a lot,
like
every 3 years. Yeah. The percentage of rain is actually the percent. The percentage of rain is the percentage of the area that is affected by a potential rainstorm.
Yeah, I know that's the definition.
Right.
But in my head, it will never translate.
It never
that way.
works that way. It doesn't work that way.
I'm thinking, yeah, you got a 30% chance rain, 70% chance it won't rain, and then in my head. That's the way it's going to be.
Because that makes a lot more sense, and I understand.
And I'm not a meteorologist. nor did I desire to be one. So, ignorance is bliss.
That's right. I ain't no meteorologist. I eat meat.
If I think it's steak, it's steak.
But what if it's 60% chance of steak?
If I think it's
That's
steak,
a pretty good chance of steak. I mean,
I'm taking it. Steak is steak. But yeah. But all I'm saying is, if you go by my logic, we're gonna get dumped on tonight and ain't gonna do nothing tomorrow. But I'm probably wrong. So don't just follow the weather, man.
Knock on wood.
They get paid a lot of money to be wrong. I don't. We do have another busy hour of show for you this hour. We're going to be joined here in studio in just a few minutes by Fred Telling. Fred is chairman, CEO for the National Championship Air Races. So we're going to have a fun conversation with him, just kind of introducing Roswell to the National Championship Air Races. Talking a little bit about it. Of course, he's been in town and at various meetings over the last couple of weeks, just kind of information meetings, kind of making connections with the Roswell community and the air race folks and all that.
Getting a feel for the lay of the land. I heard they, I think it was last week, they broke ground.
On the grandstands.
On the grandstands out there, yeah.
It was grand.
It was grand. And they're saying it's 10,000 seating capacity is what their goal is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of butts and seats.
Exactly. This is going to be a big
It is
deal.
going to be definitely an undertaking and one that I think that Roswell's ready for.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Once we're gonna have some learning curves.
Yep.
There's always through those, and we'll get through, and then this thing will be amazing. So, but Fred's gonna join us here in just a bit. We'll talk. So we're gonna talk air races here this hour. I'll also get you up to date with the news of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, and all that good stuff, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Indeed.
Let's see. Before we do any of that, let's go ahead and take a gander at the actual weather from the people that get paid to do weather, the meteorologists. Here's Steve with your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, but we have a cold front set to sweep in through the southwestern states tonight and tomorrow. Going up to 70 today, it will be a little windy with a few gusts around 40 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds were in the mid-30s. We have a slight chance of a few showers on Saturday. Afternoon highs will be cooler, right around 50, and then sunshine and warming up on Sunday, back to the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 37% with southwest winds at 6 miles per hour. Like I said, today's going to be another day of the patchy blowing dust and all that stuff. But for the afternoon, they expect the dust to be kicking back up. Sunny, highs near 70 expected today with southwest winds 5 to 10 this morning, 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour later today. Tonight, we're looking at a 10% chance of isolated showers, but don't wait up. They're talking like around 5 in the morning. So overnight, almost tomorrow morning. Mostly clear, actually, tomorrow morning. I call 5 a.m. I'm sometimes up by then, so that's the next day. So mostly clear, overnight low of 35. Winds will be out of the west 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. We are looking at a 60% chance at moisture tomorrow. They're talking a mix of rain and snow till about 8 a.m. tomorrow, then most likely just rain showers. Partly cloudy for the day. Expect a high of 53, so it's going to be about a 20-degree temp drop. But the good news is the winds will be less. We're looking at north winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Little to zero snow accumulations expected. You might see some flurries, but most of this will be in the form of rain, it looks like. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 64, north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then when you head back to work and school on Monday, sunny skies back into the low 70s there. So pretty nice. Hey, don't forget, we have high school playoff basketball action for you tonight here on the radio. The Goddard girls have traveled to take on Kirtland Central. The girls are a 16 seed, Kirtland Central the 1 seed. That game we will have for you on the radio tonight at 5 p.m. It's going to be audio only online. It's the playoffs. We do not have video permissions there for the Kirtland Central game, so it'll be on the radio and then audio only online at ksvptv.com. Emmett Fowler's going to be calling the game for us, and I'll get him up on the phone here and get him going for the game tonight. And then tomorrow night we have Roswell Coyote boys basketball playoff action. They are the 4 seed, and they're going to be hosting the 13 seed Carlsbad. That game will take place at the Coyote Den tomorrow night, 6 p.m. We will have live streaming video at ksvptv.com of that game. We did procure video rights since it's a home game. After this, if whatever teams win, then they go on to Albuquerque for the actual playing at the Pit tournament. We will not have video permissions for that. If any of the teams make it, we will put them on the radio right here on 106.5 for Goddard, Roswell action. Artesia, you can catch it on 990 AM KSVP TV, and also KSVP TV for audio only on those games as well. So, but whatever happens this weekend, we'll have on for you. But beyond, but Goddard girls tonight right here on 106.5. Roswell Coyote boys tomorrow night on Roswell on KSVPTV.com video there. Of course, we do have Artesia girls and boys action this weekend as well. Hear that on 990 AM KSVP TV, 990 AM KSVP or KSVPTV.com in the Artesia Bulldog channel there. All right, it is 8:15. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Fred Telling, Chairman CEO for the National Championship Air Races, will join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winter.
Well, the sun is shining, the temperatures are up, and all is right with the world because Roswell Ford is back open for business, and their service department is open to help you over there at the corner in 9th and Main, 821 North Main. Now, Roswell Ford's goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford or a quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. But if you still love your old ride, well, they understand, and their service department is second to none. They can get it taken care of for you, whether it's just routine maintenance or you need something more done to your vehicle. The parts and service department here at Roswell Ford, they know what they're doing. Stem to stern, they've seen your car and they know the problems that plague those vehicles. So if you need work on your ride, come on down to the parts and service department here at Roswell Ford, back home at the corner of 9th and Main, 821 North Main to be specific. They got burgers and dogs for you, waiting for you right over here at Roswell Ford, where they've been for generations, but with a whole new attitude and ready to serve you.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Coming this April 4th and 5th, the My Ashley Foundation, in cooperation with the Downtown Lions Club in Artesia, New Mexico, present their first annual golf tournament and banquet featuring guest speaker Kevin Sorbo.
Now, I am very excited to be heading to Artesia, New Mexico on April 4th, 5th, and 6th for a very special weekend with our dear friends Mark and Lorraine Richards and the incredible My Ashley Foundation. Friday night, we're going to kick off things with a very special dinner and an auction. And then on Saturday, we're going to hit the golf course, which is my favorite thing, for a day of fun, laughter, and maybe even a little competition. I do get a little competitive. And on Sunday, we're going to be gathering up for a time of worship and fellowship at Harvest Fellowship Church. You don't want to miss this. Be sure to bring your tickets, grab them right now, and join us in supporting this incredible outreach that are making a real difference in Artesia. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. God bless.
For golf reservations and sponsorships, call the ACC Pro Shop 575-746-6732. And for individual banquet tickets, call the Artesia Chamber of Commerce 575-746-2744. All proceeds will go to the Artesia Lions Club and the My Ashley Foundation to support the organization's community service and outreach programs.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Chairman and CEO for the National Championship Air Races, Fred Telling, joining us in studio this morning. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Mike, and thank you very much. And delighted to be with you.
Yeah, it's great. Glad that we get a chance to chit-chat and talk a little bit about, because you guys are kind of bringing a big deal to Roswell here, and it's been the talk of the town here for about the last year or so here at least, and we're mere months away from physically seeing planes in the air and people in town and seeing the actual first championship air races here in Roswell.
Yeah, we're very excited. You know, from the beginning when we found out we had to go find a new home, there were many cities that were interested, 6 that finally applied.
Sure.
And, we were just delighted when we got to last May and were able to make the announcement Roswell was a selection. And ever since then, you know, we've just been working closely with the mayor, the county, and all the way up to the state people to do everything we can, get the infrastructure ready.
Sure.
But we're very excited, and most of the time now I'm trying to meet with people throughout the communities to make sure they understand what's coming their way.
Yeah, this is something that, you know, we tell people, we've been talking, you know, you've been having meetings, you know, Main Street, EDC, right, various other entities kind of, you know, been talking to the town and saying, this is what we're getting ready for. Here's opportunities for you to partner with us in various ways, shapes, or forms, and things like that. So you kind of, you know, this has kind of been the teaching everybody to how to get ready moment here. But at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to explain to folks. Like, till you see it, you're not going to understand it. And once you see it, it's going to make sense. But this is, and because of where we're from and we're here, the only thing I'm like, look, this is like the International Boom Fiesta in Albuquerque, but even could be bigger than that. And we're, you know, because that's got a huge footprint in the international world. And I'm like, we're literally having something of that size that's going to be right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Well, you're exactly right. And that it's one of the reasons I was so delighted to join you this morning, because, you know, through you, I can reach a much larger audience. And the reality is, there are 2 critical things to appreciate. One, if we get the majority of our core fans and new fans, we're looking at potentially 50 to 60,000 people descending on Roswell and all of southeastern New Mexico. And it really is important to recognize it's going to be a regional event. We just, while the airport, biggest reason to pick it was the safest location, the old Walker Air Force Base, you know, was
that
a
is
bomber
a blessing
base.
in disguise. We don't realize is we have and it's got such unique runways and size, and you know, there's so many neat features of that base that's obviously a selling point for you guys when you came.
Yeah, I have to be careful about how I say this, so I might offend somebody. Not my intention, but you know, I'm an outsider. But it just struck us early on that it's potentially an underappreciated, but I certainly think underutilized asset. And we hope we can be part of the spark to bring that back.
That's where I think and I think this is where the community, and this is why the mayor and the county commission and all your elected officials are telling you is, you know, we've been talking about we need to develop this because we have a gem here. And to be honest, there's been a lot of, you know, different opinions on how we go about doing that. And I think this kind of creates that linchpin that says, okay, you know, this is going to set the table for this. This brings a certain amount of audience and eyeballs onto what we do here. This is going to enhance what's already out there. The businesses that are already setting up shop, that are doing things, they're going to most of those are probably going to work right in concert with many of your guys out there. Some of the other things that are on tap, from what I'm hearing, that could also kind of join the party out there, could potentially, we could be looked at like, Roswell is never not going to get away from the alien thing. You just face it, folks. You're going to learn this too, Fred.
Well, if you see my card, you'll see I sort of Roswellized it and added a little alien ship to the.
But as you get telemarketers calling you and you're from here and you say, hey, where are you from, Fred? Oh, I'm here in Roswell. They're going to ask you right out the bat, do you see aliens? So, yes, you're going to continue to see that. But what I'm going to say is I think this could create a thing where when people think of flying, when all things flying, whether it's military, commercial, you know, when it thinks of the air industry, they're going to look at Roswell, New Mexico as one of those meccas for that kind of thing. And so that's what this is creating.
Yeah. Well, what we're bringing is, an iconic air racing event that you can't see anyplace else, 6 classes of closed course pylon racing. But I think one of the other reasons we're so excited about this area is, in fact, among our key mission items, one of them is honoring our military and all that they do. And with Cannon up to the northeast and Holloman down to the southwest, the reality is you've got a lot of retirees, a lot of active duty military. So we're excited. We usually, have anywhere from 20 to 50 new cadets sworn in every year at our event. We make Friday, Military Day.
I think you're going to get a new fan base here.
So we're, that's what I think. I think we're excited by that. We're also bringing our scholarship program. So we'll be announcing.
I would invite folks, because I was doing a little. If you go to the Air Race website, I think it's airrace.org. Yep,
you got
Very easy to remember. And there, do your reading, go through there, especially if you're interested in saying, I want to be a part of this community. We talk about, I have the folks in the Walker Aviation Museum and all the time, and they do a lot of STEM stuff with their flight training and all. This is that times 10 times more and more opportunities for folks that are interested in these types of career fields. You're literally having a smorgasbord of mentors and experts in this field here.
Yeah, STEM programs are critical to us because, exciting kids, youth of all ages, to be able to understand there's real opportunities in the entire aviation field. Pilots, mechanics, air traffic controllers, notwithstanding some of the challenges they've been facing.
We desperately need more people in the industry. Yeah.
The only way these industries keep going is, and you know this yourself from the military, is the truth of the matter is, pilot gets all the joy of flying it, but it takes a whole crew to make sure that aircraft is up, ready, fueled, armed, and capable of its mission. And that's true throughout aviation.
Absolutely.
So we're some of our scholarships. One of the things we're excited with Bobby Thompson and I, we're funding 5 additional scholarships for A&P, and we're working with the university. And we know this is all a small start, but we're really excited by bringing it here.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to we're person who heads this up for us in the STEM area has met with the superintendent of schools and many of the principals. He's actually optimistic we'll have more than 10,000 kids. Past in Reno, we got only up to about 7,500. So
this is amazing.
Everybody here seems to really, and many of the schools we learned have already very active STEM programs. So we're hoping we can help pull all this together and make it a...
And, of course, we have the university right there, which is a great... And, of course, they offer trainings and things, too, so it's going to work great with you guys partnering and working. You both can probably help each other out in those things.
We already are. Dr. Powell's a real pleasure to work with and his staff, and you're right. Having the university right next door is helping us in so many ways.
Which is, I'm kind of thinking this is why you guys decided to come to Roswell. After, like you said, there was, I think it was 6 at the time, all 6 great cities, and Roswell. Now, I'm not going to lie, I know Roswell put on the show. I know every time I got on social media, I'm going to say 6-1. There was people, come to Roswell over.
Well,
they put the full court press on you guys. I know for sure.
Mayor Jennings and Mike Espiritu, you can't compliment enough. Number one, the mayor clearly had a vision, which was attracted us to the fact that reimagining Roswell and giving an opportunity for growth and finding new jobs is critical to his agenda. And that aviation facility really does offer some significant possibilities.
Well, and it's in desperate need of rejuvenation and upgrading. And I think you guys are the spark to make to make that happen. That's why I think it's such a great partnership where, yes, we hope to make your product the bigger, better, stronger, but at the same time, I think you guys are going to come in and make our community that much stronger and that much better. And to be honest, the things that we all talk about are problems in this community. Jobs and things to do and keeping our youth here, things like that. These solve all of those problems, or a piece of that puzzle to solve that problem.
We hope it will, and I think the one thing that we're most excited about in the near term, and I think the first place that everybody's going to see it, I mean, even in January when we had the class presidents, people from Cattle Baron and Posture Cafe and Antigua, I mean, all of them basically said, it was nice to see a bump in business. And I said, well, wait till May. We'll probably have about 400 people descending.
Yeah.
That'll be the early wave.
You might want to contact your suppliers and order double on that one.
Exactly. And but when you get to September, I mean, within 2 weeks of announcing, all the hotels in Roswell were basically full.
Yeah.
They have some rooms still squirreled away for people, but we've been down in Artesia, Carlsbad, Portales. We're the old adage, a rising tide raises all buoys. We are really confident that the group of people that will be coming will bring a lot of business. The merchants will see it, and we're excited by that.
And I think this is the part, too, is I want the locals to come and embrace this. Come to the race. Like, we're going to get a bunch of people from out of town coming in. You guys need to get out there in that grandstands, too, and see this and see what's going on in your own backyard. I'm telling you, I know this is accurate but not accurate, but it's the only thing I can get people that have no idea. It's NASCAR in the sky.
You couldn't have said it better. It is exactly that. It's NASCAR in the sky. Unlike Red Bull racing, which is against the clock, we have multiple planes racing propeller to propeller, wingtip to wingtip against each other. And you're right. We're looking forward to the whole southeast region coming in and having a chance to see what it is, because until you see it, it's hard to imagine.
Absolutely.
They can go on YouTube and see a lot of racing.
Sure.
And but
see
at
what's
the
coming.
same time, but just to imagine all of it going on over 4 or 5 days, it's really exciting.
It is. It's going to be. And again, go to the Air Races website, airrace.org.
You got it.
And because there you can see like some of the photos. You can read about like the different classes, because they literally go from almost to like if you're a drag racer guy, if you go out there, to the run your brung kind of categories.
Right.
All the way to more like what would NASCAR would be, where all the planes have the identical engines, the identical specs.
Yep.
So then, and in theory, it's all on the pilot, not on the machine. And then they have just straight out drag racing too. Like
they do.
So you got everything. You get and that's what this is. And so you get, and there's jets. So you get the high performance jets. Now, don't get me wrong. If you think those P-51s and everything, when they're going screaming around there, that's slow, then you got bigger nerves than I do. But
the P-51s and the Supermarines, the reality is they're in the high 400s. A couple of them have cracked 500 for a propeller plane at 5,000 feet. That's quite a feat. But our jets are 525, and at the moment, they're only curtailed by our race course design. The early work here has given us the opportunity. We've designed a course that may be able to accommodate jets up to 600 miles an hour.
Wow.
And we made a clear decision in our first year not to go that far yet, but I'm hoping in 2026, not only are we going to have the Thunderbirds here, but we might have the first time jets have been able to race up 600. So
nice.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Well, I love the Blue Angels. I love the Thunderbirds. But as an Air Force vet, I'm always partial to the birds.
No, absolutely. So
I'll take those F-16s any day.
The Thunderbird. Well, both the teams, the pageantry, the expertise.
Oh, they're amazing.
It is amazing. And
I ain't
just
gonna
to
lie.
watch-
The I do love they have what they call Fat Albert, the
Yep.
C-130.
Fat
that
Albert comes in.
Yeah, and they put rocket boosters on that sucker on a C-130. It's like put jetpacks on a C-1. It's just funny to watch.
It's
just
putting
cool.
jets in a bathtub.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But the reality is it works amazingly well. But the Thunderbirds are extraordinary, and we couldn't be happier to have them here.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting.
And that's the cool part too. Is it's a race and an air show. So if you want to come and see the coolest military aircraft and other things like that, because they all come and are part of this, and then so it's really it's like a 3-ring circus out there. They're just everywhere you turn, there's
That's
something
what it
going
feels
on.
like to me when we try to manage it. It's
well organized, but there's always something going on.
In the total time in the air, we're about 80 to 85% racing, and the rest of it's performers and military. And you're right, there's something for everybody. Plus, in particular, I really do come back to kids programs for STEM over the weekend. And I think there's a great opportunity for everybody to learn something more about aviation.
This is something that I kind of wanted to pick your brain on this, because obviously, again, go to the website, airrace.org. There you can learn more about the scholarship programs and some of that stuff. But if folks are really interested in getting in this industry, if it's maybe you're already pilots, maybe you want to take the next level here, this is the cool part when May is going to be like a dress rehearsal. A little bit. We're going to have, and the reason for that is because this is a new course, new created.
Everybody's got to come back and train on it.
So every single person that's going to be competing out there has got to come to Roswell here in May to get checked out on that.
Well, they have a small back door just for the full clarity, and that is, everybody's schedules are busy.
Sure.
Our racers are not professional, and almost all of them are
Some have day
self-funded.
jobs and things.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
yeah.
Some of them actually have to earn the living to support the planes we love to race.
Not all of you are retired with disposable.
so when it comes down to it, if they absolutely cannot make PRS, then we have a 2-day familiarization right before the races.
Okay.
For each of the classes, so the ones that couldn't come in May, we'll find a way to get them certified. But that's only for existing certified racers.
Gotcha. People that have been doing
Anybody
this.
who's a rookie absolutely has
You guys
to come
are down and go. You got to go through the course. So to
you
speak.
must go through the training, Pylon Racing School.
But so that'll be kind of a dress rehearsal. We're gonna have a lot of folks
Exactly.
coming in, and then of course in September will be the actual air race
Big event.
and that'll be the full air show, the full races, everyone's got their party dress on, and we're doing our thing here, and that's kind of
We're pilots. So you don't need the party dress. You can come casual, but the reality is you're right. The races themselves will be from Wednesday the 10th through Sunday the 14th, and ultimately most all the pilots will be coming in basically by the week before. So
nice.
By the 3rd and the 4th, they have to be here, and they've got to tech their planes. They've got to be in. You talk about stock class. T6, the class I used to race in, is stock. As they say, our tech rules are really, we call them anti-cheating rules. We're trying to find out who's doing something they're not supposed to do according to our rules.
Sure.
But then they practice and then qualify and then let the show begin.
And this is your and I again going back to the website, learn a little bit of the lingo. That way you can understand, like when you do go out to the races,
Right.
see what they're about, and you know when you hear things like race to the pylon, you know what that means.
Exactly.
You'll hear that a lot over the weekend.
Our smallest course is about 4.2 miles around. The longest, the unlimited, the jet course is nearly 10. And as you well know, and one of the things is very fortunate, the Brown Brothers Ranch, 2/3 of our pylons are over their ranch. And the Hollyfields have just been wonderful, wonderful neighbors. They're excited by it. And
I'm curious to see, because like you said, judges are at the pylons.
Yep.
Are those pylons like a little tent hut thing that they can hang out in? And
Well, that's a good question. So the pylons are an awfully fancy name for what basically is a very tall telephone pole with a very large 55-gallon drum on top of it, painted, clear that you can see through. And the pylon judges, you have 4 of them at each pylon. They're looking up through that. If they see through that can any part of the wing, that's a pylon cut.
Okay.
So, and the way that gets affected is it knocks like 2 seconds off
a periscope
every lap.
kind of deal almost.
Not even a periscope. No, the sight view is great. Because remember, our rule is you can't race your head. It can't be more than less than 50 feet above the ground.
Okay.
Plane can't be more than 250 feet, mainly to keep all our timing gear working right. So the reality is you're down low, you're close to that pylon, and for the people that get a chance to go out to the pylons, some of our sponsors, there is nothing cooler than being 40, 50 feet below that plane going by you at 450 miles an hour screaming with props going full blast.
That's about as close as you can get to that NASCAR experience where they show where they put the camera. That's about as close you can get into that.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
I'm,
as a person who's experienced that in different military forms and things, it's a rush when you've got that going and that RPMs and that amount of power comes blasting by you. It's kind of like at the air shows and stuff. It's always cool when every once in a while they get one of the planes and they'll pop the sound barrier right there on you. You all know when that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what this is gonna. It's all of that, and so, and here was what I was kind of starting to get at, and I got sidetracked. If you're into this stuff, these are families. This is a very family-like community. I cannot tell you this enough. If you want to learn more about it, you want to walk the pits, walk when the weekend's going on, talk to the. Very much similar if you go out to the racetrack out of here and you walk through the pits and talk to the crews. It's no different at the air races.
You can come down and tour through the pits, see all the airplanes, talk to the crews. Sometimes the pilots are there, the crew chiefs are there, and they're always glad to explain what their favorite plane is.
I'm about to say, imagine like car guys. If you want to talk planes with plane guys, they'll talk with you all day about it.
They'll talk your ear off. There's no question about it.
And of course, getting back to what you said, your focus on military men, a lot of these pilots are former military, or a lot of the teams are military backgrounds. So,
Good, particularly in our jets and our unlimiteds, a lot of them are former military. A couple of them are former astronauts, in fact. And the reality is, it's if they're not military in my area, in the T6s, a lot of them are crop dusters.
Nice.
Well, I was the odd one when I came in. They looked at me and said, "Well, you're not former military. You're not a crop duster." And I said, "Yeah, but I can learn."
And this is just me living here, and I'm a radio guy. I'm not a farm and rancher guy, but we have a guy. I used to do the radio show in Artesia, and so I drive him back and forth every day.
Yeah, well,
and,
I was just down there yesterday.
And of course, I'm driving at dark 30 or whatever before the and of course the crop dusting guy.
Right.
He would always be out there in his little yellow plane, and he's doing his little barrels and flying, low, and I'm like, what a great life that guy has. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm going to get out and just kind of whip around on this plane and, hit a couple. I was like, that's got to be the life right there. So
it's a challenging life, but it's got a lot of freedoms to it, and it's so important to agriculture.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we can go talk to that guy and see if he wants to, take a lap or two.
Well, if he's interested in T6s, he can come on out and be right at home.
Yeah. But come meet the families.
Yeah, meet the people. We call it our September family.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's,
hats off to Paul Poveresny, who founded EAA. The reality is, as Paul said, we come for the airplanes, we come back for the people.
Yeah. And by the way, help them become New Mexico-ified.
Right.
When they come, because they're going to be coming to town, they're like, hey, where's a good place to eat around here? Where's a good place to tell them your favorite places. Wherever your favorite green chili cheeseburger is or favorite enchilada is, tell them, take them there and show them where to go and show them the town. Ask them, hey, if they're looking for attractions to do, tell them where your favorite place to go. Take them to Lincoln. Take them to it depends. If they're into history, go show them some Billy the Kid stuff. They want to see natural stuff, take them down to Carlsbad.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's important to us, and certainly in our marketing, both to our fans and the new people in the Midwest, because we think we'll get a lot more fans from the Midwest who haven't been to Reno, is, look, there's so much to do in southeastern New Mexico that, the truth is, most of the world in America doesn't know much about.
We're loaded with history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, Goddard did all of his early rocket work here, even though they named Goddard Space Center over there in Texas. Texans, they'll appropriate anything.
We got the planetarium in the high school, though.
Yeah, there you go. But the reality is, back to your point about welcoming him, I just have to give a shout out to everybody I've met in this community so far. The hospitality and the enthusiasm, they'll see my little emblem on the shirt and they'll say, well, we're really excited by the air races, but the big challenge I have is their next question is, well, what are they?
Yes.
And so, again, thanks for letting me be here. And I bought a home. I'm looking to make this a key part of my next life for the next 3 years.
You're going to get a few New Mexico roots in yourself here.
Well, I'm working on it.
That's
I'm
good
working
then.
on it.
How's your love, or how's the green chili thing? Yeah, are you getting
a green chili stew at Cattle Baron?
Was it 10?
It's just been fabulous.
Nice.
So, we've been there a lot.
Well, that's the biggest, most important question in the state of New Mexico: the red or green. It's a state question. It's official. That's but we love our chilies here. That's
I've discovered that, and they're really good.
And we get a little salty when Colorado tries to come in on our chili game.
Yeah, exactly.
We got
that's all right.
That's cute. But yes, folks,
they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Exactly.
So there you go.
That's what.
If they can't invent, they copy.
That's right. We can't beat them, join them, kind of thing. But folks, get ready. This is going to be fun. I'm telling you, you're going to be so excited to see this and see what's coming to our community here. I really. And to be honest, when we talk about, because there's a lot, if you're a nonprofit or church group, or youth organization, there are many opportunities to work and get involved with the event. Go through the website, go through the proper channels, because there's a lot of needs that are going to be need to be met at the air races. And a lot of it's done through volunteers.
You're exactly right, Mike. We utilized 1,200 volunteers, and the good news is out of our core, my estimate is we'll probably get at least 800 or more of them coming back to help us make the transition. But we had a volunteer event because we need to recruit lots more people to help us with the event. We're going to have much more vendor space. The nice thing about the air base is that, in fact, it's got a third more land that we'll have for the event space than we've had in Reno. So
we never had a problem finding dirt. We got plenty of dirt.
Well, and if you go out there, we had the groundbreaking last Wednesday. You go out there, Well, we're turning some of that dirt's going to be all chip sealed and turned into a nice event space.
Just a little bit less dust out there.
A little bit less dust, I hope. And Monday, as you know, this week was 70-mile-an-hour winds. I was here and I said, well, I just hope they die down by May.
I'm about to say the good news is this is March, April. By about May, they die down, and usually our fall's not.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
You now you're seeing all of our seasons.
Well, it's been great.
Absolutely. Well, we do appreciate you spending some time with us. And folks, airrace.org. Is it Air Races or Air Race?
Airrace.org.
Airrace.org is the website. Go there and start there. Start reading and and check back, because as we get close to the event, they'll start putting up like some of the pilots, some of the competitors on the planes. Right. As we get more signings and things on board, they'll start putting them up on the website here as things progress here.
We'll have a great deal more up and going, but the other thing is we've opened tickets to the previous ticket holders, but come, I believe, March 14th or 17th, we're going to be opening ticketing broadly to the public, so we're looking forward to it. And we are planning for the local Roswell people to do a special discount for all of you for a couple of weeks.
Of course, we're on the volunteering thing. Volunteering has its perks.
The other benefit of volunteering, you volunteer a day and you get a day.
Yeah.
And we look forward to it. And we look forward to everybody becoming a part of our September family.
And
it's really cool.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And if you've never been to an air show before, I mean, the races but even if you've never been to an air show, like you've never gone to a military, it's such a cool experience. And you're going to get that right here in your own backyard when you get to because the pilots, everybody love to talk and love to see and love to come, and kids get up close and personal with these cool airplanes and everything else. It's just families go nuts. The kids will go love it. The mom and dad, you're gonna equally be cool and be like, well, that's pretty cool. Your dad. We all act like children when we get out there. It's just that's the fun part of it is we get to see these cool things and these pilots. Now don't get me wrong. This is racing. It's
racing. We're not an air show. We're racing, and God knows our insurance rates show it.
I'm about to say, you guys probably pay a bunch of money in that kind of stuff.
But the reality is, it is racing. As you meet any of the pilots, and if you've seen some of our little short video clips, as people say, Americans love to compete. Around the world they love to compete, and so the ability to get out there with your fellow pilots and go head-to-head and find out who really is the best today.
Sure.
That's the most fun you can have with your pants on.
Absolutely. And I got to imagine it is a labor of love for 99% because
virtually all of them. They're all self-funding. None of us make any money.
Nobody's getting rich off this thing at all. They're all probably spending their nest eggs doing
this. They all keep hoping, and as I say to my daughter, who is actually a T6 pilot, and her husband is too, and he may come out and qualify, in which case he'll be one of the first Roswell-based T6 rookies. But we've got 3 other rookies we know of.
And maybe we get some local rookies in there. Yeah, we need
we're
more.
Hoping
a few Roswell native pilots out there.
If you're local and you have a Formula One or a biplane and you're interested in racing or a sport plane, give it a serious thought. Pipeline Racing School's applications are now open and up and online, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. And most importantly, the whole aviation community, in my experience, and I've been a pilot for over 55 years. It's a special community. Mm-hmm. There's a bond because, like everybody who does a job they love, it's not work.
Sure.
The reality is they share their interest, their love, and their passion, and that's what you'll find when you come out.
Yeah, I imagine it's kind of like, from my own personal experiences and, sports, military, hockey, things like that. It's kind of that, it's like, it's family. You fight hard, but dang, we love hard, too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those things. When we're on the course, it's every man for himself. But afterwards, we wrap our arms around each other, and we'll all get through each other through the storm if we need to. And that's kind of that mindset.
Place you see it is in the pits. If somebody has a part that goes bad and they need something, word goes out.
Sure. It seems to me, because I've had friends that they're like same thing with the drag racing community. It's very similar in that mindset where it's everybody helps everybody. We're running on Sunday to have fun, and so we can get through our week to have more fun on Sunday.
And we want every one of us to be able to be out there and race. And if it's something out of my toolbox that makes your plane work better,
sure,
that's fine, because that's what the course is all about.
Absolutely. Plus, it makes the bragging rights funnier later. It's like, I beat you with my own part.
Exactly. Well, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for your
Fred,
show
and-
and your interest. You have a great day.
And welcome to Roswell, and hopefully you get to see all the beauties of it, not just the haboob side.
No, it'd be wrong if I didn't repeat it.
And
everybody I've met here has just been wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know more and more people in the community.
Absolutely.
So thanks for welcoming.
And obviously, we get close to these events. Hopefully, we get to see you yourself and more of the the team coming in, and as they come to Roswell and introducing themselves and get acclimated to Roswell, and who knows, bringing some of these pilots in. And who knows, we could just let them talk shop here and have fun and
absolutely
kind of get everybody into the culture a little bit.
Well,
here,
if you have the time, certainly pilots. They're good talkers.
I know.
We'd love to.
And I've hung around enough of them where I can keep up with them. So I was enlisted, so I dealt with a lot of pilots.
Well, again, I close. Thank you for your service, and thank you for keeping America free.
Well, thank you very much. It's kind of funny. You don't realize, because I got to wrap, but just real quick, like as a guy that pilots, and I know, I worked stealth, and so the pilots that were on that aircraft were not new. They all came from other
best of the best.
Yeah, they were previously some come off carriers, heavies, cargo planes. Some come off fighters. But anyway, you get a mix in them, and so. But I appreciated when those guys, because pilots, especially military pilots, they're very like Top Gun is not far off. That mindset, that whole that's kind of to do what they do, they kind of need that edge.
As they say, naval aviators are special.
Yeah, they kind of need that to do what they do. And so, but that kind of exudes. And so, as weapons guys, as crew chiefs and stuff, you deal with that stuff. But those guys really do take the back seat. And that was the thing I learned is I'm a two-stripe airman, and I'm probably half the age of this guy, but this is what I do. And he's defaulting to me, and especially when we got to wartime scenarios, because yes, we drop bombs all the time, but these are the real ones that go boom and we're doing something real here. And I remember like when we go to war, and those guys are saying, and then they kind of go through the motions sometimes when they do their pre-flight checks, and usually as a weapons guy, I'm the guy that's kind of there to arm the bomb, but there just to answer questions in case pilot's like, what's that thing hanging off my plane?
Exactly.
And so I'm there for that, but I'll never forget these guys, and they come to me, and when we went to war times, they're like, it hit different. Those guys are, all right, Airman, come here, show me again, why is this? And I said, sir, no problem. And because you could tell he's a little nervous and a little and then I was, and that was one of those moments where I was like, okay, despite the bravado, these are good. You know what I mean?
They
are. And that's where I got to see the other side of
and
that.
They understand that their crew has their lives in their hands. And, that's a bond that you can't get any other way.
Yep. And so come see that on
Absolutely.
Display. So, thank you, Fred. Thank you for spending some time
with us.
Thank you,
Mike.
Appreciate it. We can't wait for more things down the road here.
We'll be here all the time, and we'll look forward to whenever it works, and I'm excited by getting to know everybody in the community. Thank you, Roswell, for welcoming us in.
All right. We'll see you next time, Fred.
Thank you. Thank you much.
All right. It is 8:51. Let's pause for news. Quick break. Well, not a quick break. A break. And then we'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health confirming that the deceased resident of Lee County who was unvaccinated tested positive for measles. The official cause of death still under investigation by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator. However, Department of Health Scientific Lab has confirmed the presence of the measles virus. The individual did not seek medical care before passing away. The only prevention, according to experts, for the highly contagious respiratory illness is vaccination. With ongoing exposures in Lee County, the New Mexico Department of Health is urging residents to get vaccinated to protect themselves and their families. Carlsbad Caverns National Park has instituted some preventative measures due to extreme wildfire danger. Fire, charcoal, and propane grills are now strictly prohibited. Smoking is also prohibited except inside personal vehicles, and open flames and cooking stoves are now not allowed in the backcountry. The increased fire danger is due to prolonged hot, dry, and windy weather. These factors result in extremely dry vegetation that is highly susceptible to even the smallest spark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
So if the new year means it's time for a new ride for you, well, Roswell Ford understands, and they want to get you behind the wheel of your next newer pre-owned vehicle. They want to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy. And they've got lots of ways to make that happen for you, starting with your trade. Bring it in any condition. I'll bet you it's worth more than you bargained for. Plus, if you're making payments on your current vehicle, they're driving you nuts and they're burying you and you're underwater, don't worry, Roswell Ford can make it happen for you. They can take your trade even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it, because Roswell Ford is partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, or even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Huge savings, exceptional trade values, and a better buying experience. That's what it's all about. Roswell Ford, they want to make it happen for you today. They're waiting for you back home at 821 North Main, where they've been for generations, but with a whole new attitude, ready to serve you this week.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Full slate of basketball tonight and tomorrow. It's the first round of the state playoffs. Let's start on the girls' side, where Roswell, the 14th seed, plays at number 3 Mayfield tonight at 6 o'clock. Goddard, the 16th seed in 4A, plays top-seeded Kirtland Central this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Dexter, 15th seed in 3A, at number 2 West Las Vegas. That starts at 6. And Gateway Christian, 11th seed in 1A, at number 6 Cliff. That's the same matchup for the boys' side tomorrow. Gateway Christian, the 9th seed. Cliff is the 8th seed. For Class 2A, Hagerman, the 10th seed, at number 7 Rehoboth. That's tomorrow at 3. NMMI, the 12th seed in Class 3A, at number 5 Bosque. 16th seeded Goddard in 4A at number 1 St. Pius, and 4th seeded Roswell will be playing host to Carlsbad tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks closed lower yesterday. The S&P 500 touched its lowest level since November of last year, and Wall Street watchers will tell you this is because traders are growing weary of the back and forth regarding trade policy as President Trump continues to use potential tariffs as a negotiating tactic with countries like Canada, Mexico, and China. Wednesday, the White House granted a temporary reprieve for automakers and signaled a willingness to hold off on other levies that boosted the market midweek. But yesterday, similar talk of wiggle room from Trump officials failed to evoke a similar response, although President Trump did sign an executive order exempting Mexican imports that are sticking to the U.S.-Mexican trade agreement. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made public comments arguing in favor of tariffs. Speaking at the Economic Club of New York, he said, "This is the America First trade policy." Mexico's president says her nation will announce retaliatory tariffs this coming weekend. First-time jobless claims dropped to 221,000 for the week ending March 1st. The number of federal workers filing claims rose last month amid the ongoing DOGE push. In January, wholesale inventories rose by a more than expected amount. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
If you're looking for premium hand-rolled cigars blended by some of the best master blenders in the industry, using the finest aged tobacco from Nicaragua, with 4 different blends and complexities to satisfy any palate, try my all-time favorite at My Patriot Cigar Company. Right now, use promo code STONE for 25% off and free shipping on orders over $75. Go to mypatriotcigars.com and use promo code STONE. mypatriotcigars.com. It's a premium smoke for freedom-loving patriots.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
Have you ever heard the phrase, "He's too smart for his own good"? That's a perfect description of Solomon. God had blessed him with the highest amount of wisdom ever known. Because of his wise choice to ask God for wisdom rather than everything else, God blessed Solomon with amazing riches, prosperity for Israel, and peace for his nation. How could he not be satisfied with all that God had given him? He had it all, yet it didn't seem to be enough. His personal desire for the things God had forbidden outweighed his loyalty to the one true God. Do you ever find yourself in the same place? You know what God wants from you, but your selfish desires have pulled you far away from God's will for your life. When Solomon dedicated the temple to God, he asked God to forgive he and his people when they sinned because he knew they would. No matter how far you strayed from God, if you truly want to change, he wants to forgive. He wants you to be his. You just have to come and take that step.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
So the sun's out, the temps are up, and I know what you're thinking. Adventure is out there. The road is waiting to meet you. And I agree, it's definitely out there. But before you hit the open road, head to Roswell Ford first at their home at 821 North Main, back where they belong, because Roswell Ford's goal is to get you behind the wheel of your new or pre-owned vehicle fast, easy, and more affordably than you can believe. In fact, they'll give you a price that they would give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring them any trade, any condition. You don't even have to wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome, and if making payments on your current vehicle is weighing you down, well, Roswell Ford is here to say they can help you out. They can get you out of your trade even if you owe thousands more than your vehicle is worth. And don't even worry about credit, because it's not the situation at Roswell Ford. Rates as low as 0% APR, and they've got great vehicles across the lot. Come by and see them. They got burgers, chips, and drinks waiting for you at the all-new Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main, where they've been for generations, back home and ready to serve you.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
The president wrote to Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini seeking to negotiate a nuclear deal. He told Fox Business News that he hopes an agreement can be reached because if the U.S. has to take military action, it's going to be a terrible thing for Iran. The president said something's going to happen one way or the other, and now is the time to negotiate. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The president says he is strongly considering sanctions and tariffs on Russia in hopes of forcing a settlement of the war in Ukraine. Signs that Europe may be ready to after its own defense needs instead of relying so much on the U.S.
Leaders in Brussels last night made EU history, agreeing to hike defense spending dramatically. That decision came after the U.S. president withdrew military and intelligence support for Ukraine and said he didn't see why the U.S. should protect NATO allies that don't meet security spending targets. Spain long languished in defense spending doldrums and suddenly changed its tune, while traditionally debt-allergic Germany is now encouraging Europe's government to dig deep in their pockets to future-proof continental security. Next week, France's President Macron is expected to host army chiefs from across Europe, whose countries are ready to guarantee future peace in Ukraine.
The BBC's Katja Adler. The Department of Homeland Security ending a collective bargaining agreement with the tens of thousands of frontline employees at the TSA. The department says the agreement is hindering the ability of the organization to safeguard our transportation systems and keep Americans safe. American employers added 151,000 jobs last month. The Labor Department says healthcare, financial services, transportation led the way in hiring. The unemployment rate ticked up a notch, 4.1%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Battles between Syrian security forces and gunmen loyal to former President Assad It left more than 70 people dead in Syria.
The clashes are the worst since Bashar Assad was removed from power in early December by insurgent groups led by the Islamist Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. On Friday morning, large numbers of troops were deployed in Latakia and no civilians were on the streets because of a curfew. Armed security force personnel on the back of vehicles drive fast on the highway between Homs and Tartus. A war monitor saying the outskirts of the coastal towns of Banias and Jabla are still under the control of Assad loyalists. And many Alawite villages nearby are also outside government control. I'm Charles Duladas.
A South Korean court has ordered impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol to be released from jail, pending a trial on charges of rebellion. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Small Business Administration is on the move.
SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler announced they're leaving several cities that have illegal immigrant sanctuary policies. The cities include Seattle, Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City. The SBA will also start a policy of requiring loan applicants to verify their citizenship. Lenders will also be required to confirm that applicant businesses are not owned in whole or in part by someone who is not a legal citizen. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Turns out 2025 isn't the year for legalized sports betting in Georgia. Efforts to send a state constitutional amendment to voters failed yesterday as neither the amendment nor a bill laying out the details ever came to a vote in the state legislature. Voters in Missouri narrowly approved sports betting in a 2024 referendum, making Missouri the 39th state to legalize the practice. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tristan Viernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody.
Ah, yes.
You made it.
You know, there's certain things in life that just bring me pure joy. One of those things is the smell of fresh cut grass.
Like wafting through the window?
It's wafting right through. It's maybe my favorite smell on the planet. It harkens me back to my childhood, back living in Oklahoma. You know, everybody mowing their lawns. It'd be like a day I was homesick, watching Price is Right or whatever. I've always loved that fresh cut grass smell. So
nice. I don't know why. It just reminded me of one dumb one-liner that just makes me giggle even when I think about it from a movie. And it's not even that great of a line. It just makes me giggle.
Sure.
It's the movie Starsky and Hutch.
Classic.
Yes.
Classic.
There's a scene where what's his name?
Knoxville?
No.
I'm thinking of a different movie entirely.
No.
Huggy Bear.
Yeah, he's in it, but it's what's his name's golfing. The actor's name just went right out of my head. Bad guy in the show, in the movie.
Been minutes I've seen it.
Anyway, he's out on the golf course and he's golfing, and Snoop Dogg is his caddy.
Right.
And Snoop Dogg, and all of a sudden the guy goes, "Hey, give me the 7-iron," and Snoop Dogg's like, "Well, with the cut of the grass here and all this, the blades the way they're going with this, I go with a 4-iron or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And then Vince Vaughn is the other guy. Vince Vaughn looks at him and says, "Man, you sure know a lot more about golf. He goes, I know a lot more about grass. And that line just always makes me giggle every time. So when you're talking about your fresh cut grass ball, I went right to that line because I didn't even know more about grass.
I know even more about grass. Yeah,
it's double entendre.
Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson.
Yes,
it's been forever since I've seen that.
Do it. I kind of like that movie.
Somebody sent me that clip as a gift the other day. Just like there,
do it. It's a popular one. It's a popular meme.
I said I was going to do something, and they said, "Do it."
Yeah, I think that's one of the standard. If you go to your phone and you go to the meme page, and that's one of the ones that's right
just pops right up,
right in the. Because I've seen it a half dozen times. Like if someone says, "Should I do?" Usually in the comments, there's one guy with that same meme with him in the. He has like a wig on, and right when he goes, "Do it."
What's funny is there's certain ones that become certain memes or gifs that become gifs, and I wonder if people understand the origins from it. Like, I've seen a lot of people post the "We don't talk about Kirky" gif.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that movie? Have you ever actually taken the time to watch the cinematic masterpiece that is The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard?
Oh, I have.
No, I'm sure you have. I'm talking to lame American. No, I know you have.
I know The Goods.
That is maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one that I reference a lot that people just don't get.
It's one where Piven's at his... That's like vintage Piven.
Vintage Piven. I like it. It's right there with Entourage Piven.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's like, to be honest, I think it's the same character.
PCU Piven.
Entourage Piven and the Goods Piven are pretty much the same Piven.
One's
broker.
He's slightly more likable in The Goods.
Slightly, yes.
Only slightly.
Yes.
But
like if the Goods Piven got money, he'd be like the Entourage Piven.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. 100%. It's just, when you're struggling, you got to, appeal to the masses.
As opposed to PCU Piven, who's just a well-likable stoner guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, one of my favorite clips from that movie, and people don't understand, is I will often reference, nobody tells DJ Request what to play. It's one of my favorite running jokes in the movies. Every time somebody requests a song, he'll just play some random. He's like, oh, yeah, no problem. Dead puppies. And just stone face them.
It's man,
beautiful film.
Let me do the business right now.
Do the biz, and I have a question I want to bring up to you. But go ahead.
Okay. Don't forget, we do have high school playoff basketball action for you. As the Goddard girls are the 16 seed in the playoffs here. They got to travel to Kirtland Central, who are the number 1 seed. That game we will have for you here on the radio. Audio, no video for this one. We will have audio on the video channel, but no video on the video channel. Just audio, hence the audio only. Yep. But we will have it here on the radio for you. That game will tip off at 5 p.m. Emmett Fowler will be calling that game for us here, so we'll bring that to you. And then also in our we'll have Roswell boys basketball playoff action. They are the number 4 seed. They're going to be hosting the 13 seed Carlsbad. That game will take place tomorrow night at 6 at the Coyote Den. We will have that game for you. We did procure video streaming rights for that one. They allowed us to do that. So we'll have that for you at ksvptv.com in the Roswell Coyote channel. So we will have that. And don't forget, we will have Artesia Bulldog girls and boys action for you here on the radio at 990 a.m. and at ksvptv.com. So don't forget there. All right, question away.
Oh, really the question I had was you had mentioned earlier today that you had just finished a series called American Primeval.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy, howdy, that was good.
And I'm trying to pull up some of the synopsis. Basically, the plot is a mother and son fleeing from their past form a found family while confronting a harsh landscape of freedom and cruelty in the American West.
If you're a Western fan and don't mind a little violence, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of violence.
Okay.
Then this is good because it was actually filmed in New Mexico. This was filmed in New Mexico here. It's Peter Berg. And he's more behind the camera now, but like in the 90s, he did a couple movies and things and TV shows. Peter Berg, but anyway, he's the I don't know if he directs it or creates it, but it's
It's his project.
Yes. And so it's a 6-part series. I don't think there's not going to be a season 2 or anything. This one pretty much
They wrapped it up.
Pretty much wrapped it up. So it's a 6-part deal.
Okay.
And it's filmed in New Mexico, but the time period is 1859 Utah territory, Utah.
Okay.
Brigham Young is the governor, and he's, trying to, militarily take over Utah. Make it all for Mormons.
Right.
That's kind of, and then, so the time period is right then. It also, so it clashes with so basically the story is told as your main characters is a woman and a child that she's coming from back east, trying to meet her husband in Utah.
Sure.
For life together. As the story unfolds, you learn more about that. But as the story starts, it's just this lady looking for a husband. She's trying to seek passage to get to the town. She's hitting the harsh reality that is the West here in Utah territory, you know. And so she's dealing with all of that. And so she walks right into the middle of what's going on in this area. And so what's going on in there is you've got the Native American tribes and the U.S. Army and the Mormons, like all
vying for the same land, essentially.
So you got a mini little just thing going on, and so this series kind of tells the story of this woman trying to reconnect and what it all spirals out to.
Right.
But it's all in the vein of 1859. Utah territory, and so it's very good. I'm not going to tell you right now. It's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of violence in this, a lot of blood, a lot of guts. It's brutal. Everybody's a good guy and everybody's a bad guy in this thing.
That's sort of how
that's what I like
about it. It was back in that day.
Real. It feels this isn't the Hollywood story. This is just the gritty. This is the harsh reality of what
actually happened.
What bringing America to America was, and what it is, and what happened,
right?
And who begat whom.
I definitely want to check it out. I'm not much for the gore stuff, but But if it's done in the right way or for the right means, then I'm usually okay with it.
Yeah, it's because it fits the story. It's not unnecessary. It just is portraying the image that this is the brutal reality of life.
Sure.
And this is what people do when they are put up against life or death situations, and what humanity devolves or evolves into.
Right.
And it shows all of that. And that's what's kind of neat about it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah. But it's called American Primeval, and it's on Netflix. It's a 6-part deal, and it's pretty good. It does. There's some actors in it you'll recognize. There's not like super A-list actors. An actor named Kim Coates plays Brigham Young. If you're a fan of Sons of Anarchy, he was one of the guys in that. If you remember Waterworld, he was the paper guy from Waterworld.
Okay.
He's been in other things. That's just the two I remember off the top of my head. A couple others that you'll be like, oh, I've seen that from that one show and that thing. So there's a lot of those, but there's not really like Peter Berg's actually in it.
Okay, so he actually.
Spoiler alert. I don't think he's much past this first or second episode, but he's in it.
Noted. Didn't make it. Got it. Thanks for spoiling that for me.
I don't remember exactly gets to episode 2 or not. I'll leave that to you. It is 9:16. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a bit. Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell will join us here in just a few minutes. Give us an update on what they've been doing. They got a lot going on. Lot's been happening and a lot going on. So we'll talk all about that with Barbara here in just a few minutes. And then we'll get you up to date with the news and all that good stuff and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, but we have a cold front set to sweep in through the southwestern states tonight and tomorrow. Going up to 70 today, it will be a little windy with a few gusts around 40 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds. We're in the mid-30s. We have a slight chance of a few showers on Saturday. Afternoon highs will be cooler, right around 50, and then sunshine and warming up on Sunday, back to the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 61 degrees already here in Roswell. It's kind of nice and fair, to be fair. Humidity is at 29%. Winds are out of the southwest right now at 13, gusting to 23. It is going to be one more of those days at least. But the good news is it's going to be windy today, but I don't get all the last couple days I'm getting the red flag warnings and high wind alerts and all that nonsense. That's not happening today. They're not giving me all that. It is going to be windy. You're going to see patchy blowing dust this afternoon. Highs near 70, and southwest winds 5 to 10, picking up 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 today. So windy, but not haboob windy, just garden variety windy. For tonight, we are looking at a 10% chance of some moisture. They say in the form of snow showers, but I don't know why it's in tonight's forecast because it says after 5 a.m. Last time I checked, 5 a.m. is tomorrow. So we're going to say that's a morning thing. Mostly clear for the night with an overnight low of 35. Winds out of the west, 15 to 20. They're going to drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Now, on Saturday, we are looking at a 60% chance at moisture. Most of it's going to be in the form of rain. There is a slight chance of a rain and snow mix till about 8 a.m. Then it's going to be changing over to rain after that. High of 53, so this is going to be a lot cooler. We're going to see about 20-degree temp drop from today to tomorrow. Good news is the winds will only be out of the north, 10 to 15. That won't be so bad. But we are looking at a 60% chance of moisture and little to no snow accumulation. It's mostly going to be in the form of rain, if the moisture we do get. Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28 with northwest winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday, looking pretty nice. Sunny, 64, north winds 5 to 10. And then when you head back to work and school Monday, sunny and 73. So one more day of wind, a little bit of rain on Saturday, a little cooler. And then looks like some more pleasant weather on the way after that. All right, it is 9:20. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute break, and then we will talk with Barbara Gomez from Main Street, Roswell on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
So if the new year means it's time for a new ride for you, well, Roswell Ford understands, and they want to get you behind the wheel of your next newer pre-owned vehicle. They want to make it super fun, super fast, and super easy. And they've got lots of ways to make that happen for you, starting with your trade. Bring it in any condition. I'll bet you it's worth more than you bargained for. Plus, if you're making payments on your current vehicle, they're driving you nuts and they're burying you and you're underwater, don't worry, Roswell Ford can make it happen for you. They can take your trade even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it, because Roswell Ford is partnered with more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, or even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Huge savings, exceptional trade values, and a better buying experience. That's what it's all about. Roswell Ford, they want to make it happen for you today. They're waiting for you back home at 821 North Main, where they've been for generations, but with a whole new attitude, ready to serve you this week.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have Project Superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning from Main Street, Roswell, Barbara Gomez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing better. The
I know
wind's not blowing so
I was
bad
gonna say,
today.
yeah, you've been pushed up and down, but it's been busy too. You guys have been really busy with between air race stuff and just other Main Street business. It's just been busy.
Right. And of course, around the corner, for those of you that I'm sure are dying to hear about it, some of you like it, some of you do not, but Main Street Roswell will be working once again on the UFO festival that's been happening.
Yeah.
That's going to be happening on Main Street.
Now this one's going to have to be a little tricky this year, because we don't have the Civic Center, so that's that's going to be a unique problem for this year's.
Yeah, it will be a unique problem, but it's kind of ended up being kind of a, I guess you can say interesting problem, because for us it's going to be good because the Galacticon is moving downtown.
Okay, so they're going to. So that's the fix. Is they're going to join the downtown procession?
Well,
here.
they're going to join downtown, or actually they're going to be in a building.
Okay.
Right across the street. I'm sure you know which building I'm talking about, Mike. The old furniture store across the street from the UFO museum.
Yes.
They're going to be using one of those empty areas for
good.
the Galacticon.
Okay, cool.
So they've got a lot of really fun plans of things they're going to do there. So we're really happy to have them downtown.
Good.
I guess
because I was worried that we're going to lose that because of that.
Yeah,
so I'm glad we did not. That's awesome.
So they have all the people that were in there, which again it's the Roswell Daily Record, was also in the convention
That's right.
center.
Are they going to be doing their thing in there too? The incident?
I haven't fully know what they're going to do, but I've heard that they're going to be at the Pueblo Auditorium.
Okay.
So they've got their plan. So the events are going to be happening. They're just going to be moving somewhere else.
Just slightly shifting.
Slightly shifting
Are
things
they done
around.
with the Pueblo stuff? Because I know they've been renovating and upgrading
Yeah,
that
they've
for
been doing a little bit there. So I think that everybody's looking for new locations to have their events.
Trying to find their workarounds here. Yeah.
But the really cool thing, Mike, is what we're planning on doing this year, which we tried to do it last year, didn't work as great as we'd hoped. But we're going to have a collective schedule of events that will be listed on the city website, which is UFOfestival.com.
Okay. That's your one stop.
That's my one stop.
All things festival related, that's where you'll find it.
It will be going to be UFO
Whether
Festival.
Whether it's Galacticon or Main Street or the city or the paper or whomever's doing something.
That's right. So the plan is to have a collective schedule. Everybody that's doing something throughout the town will be in the collective schedule. Now, mind you, it's not going to be from now till forever. It'll be starting from about July the 1st to the end of the festival. It starts 4th, 5th, and 6th, okay? And so you will find information about the Galacticon. You'll find out information about the Roswell incident. You'll find out about what the Miniature Museum has going on, and then all the activities that'll be happening downtown.
It's going to be a lot of fun stuff.
So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on. So I don't want to focus too much on UFO yet because we're only in March.
You'll hear plenty of it here.
You're going to get so sick and tired of hearing.
But it's great to see there's a plan in action.
There is a plan.
And because I was kind of curious, it's like, man, how are we going to do this without the convention center? And it sounds like we got a workaround here. So
we do have a little bit of a workaround. Also, the reason I mentioned July the 1st, that's on Tuesday. So, during this last time when we had the UFO festival, one of the things that, we found out through looking through some of our records and looking at the number of people that come to town and things like that, is that people arrive to Roswell sometimes, well, even earlier, but the week before the event is filled with people, and the week after the event is filled with people. So we decided, starting on July the 1st, that we want to add things happening in this community. So when people show up to town, they can say, what is there to do in Roswell? We can say maybe they can go out to Bottomless Lakes. They might have a Star Watch out there. The UFO Museum might have something going on Monday or Tuesday, or even Moonrock Outfitters might put together a group for bike riding.
Yeah, or maybe there's a concert or a band hanging out at one of the restaurants.
So we want to give tourists and locals a reason to come downtown, or to or a reason actually to think about what is there happening in Roswell? What else can I do besides
other museums besides the UFO Museum?
Yeah,
here to
other
check
museums.
Out.
And of course, we have a few exciting buildings that are popping up with people in them. And I don't know if you've heard about this, Mike, or had a chance to visit them, but a new store opened up downtown. It is at 311 North Main Street. It's called the Roswell Space Toy Museum.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't...
No, I'm new of them. I've not heard of this one. So
so this one is going to be where the old, what was it, Calico Cow used to be, just south of Stellar.
Okay.
I understand that they're going to have space toys ranging from the 1930s through the 1960s.
So like a little mini museum.
A little
of
mini toy
toys
museum.
and things. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
lots of cool photo ops and fun rides for the kiddies. So they're going to have rides in
So
there.
all those collectors out there will probably, because everyone, I've seen like guys like Sean got a stash of figures hanging out and stuff.
Yeah.
This is your wheelhouse right here. Is come
That's
see
right.
a museum.
Yeah,
of,
you need to go
of
by
cool,
there and see that.
Obviously, alien themed
yes,
toys. And things.
yeah. So this last Saturday on March the 1st, they kind of held kind of a soft grand opening, I guess you can say. But you need to go by and see them. I will stop by there, take some pictures maybe, and we'll put together a little video and put it on our Facebook so you guys can see what's going on there.
So is it like the museum kind of his own private collection of stuff, or is it like stuff on loan?
You know what, Mike? I don't know that much about it yet because I hadn't made my way over there.
Okay, I'd be
but
kinda curious about
they
that.
are at 311 North Main.
All right.
Go get you some coffee at Stellar's
That's
and then
right.
walk on over next door and go look at the Roswell Space Toy Museum.
Yeah.
So that's a fun place. So now I've got a couple of things that I know are going to be popping up in the Main Street District. I'm not sure how ready they are for me to announce all of this, but
Sure.
I'm just going to give you a
You'll let 'em-
little idea of
Just
what
a
might
couple
be
cats
coming.
coming out of a
yeah,
bag here.
just a couple of them. So we are still looking forward to the alien escape room.
Yeah.
That is going to be on the 100 block. Again, across the street from the museum, from the UFO museum.
All your downtown where you can kind
All
of tourists or
downtown.
locals want to come and hit the museum, hit something to eat, go do the escape room, maybe go see another museum, go shopping. It's a little something for everybody, and that's what we're the Main Street quarter.
And I hear a little bird told me that there might be glow in the dark putt golf also going in on Main Street.
Sounds
and it's going to be. Can you imagine an indoor glow in the dark during the 105 degree weather in Roswell?
Exactly. That'll be a very popular
It could be
joint.
a really fun place to go. So I'll give you more as soon as I find out about that. Let you know about what's going on. But coming up here in March, one of my favorite months. St. Patrick's Day and everything. I don't know why I think it's awesome, but I do.
I do enjoy it as an Irish lad myself.
I'm not Irish, but I like to tell people I am. They don't believe it. I don't know why, Mike. I don't know why, but
my middle name is Patrick, so I'm Michael Patrick. That's
Michael Patrick.
That's
You're
about as Patrick as you get. Yes,
kind of like Christopher and Sean and Matthew and some of those names.
And I've done those 23andMe's, and I'm about 60%. Irish.
Wow.
English, yeah.
Mike, you need to put together an Irish event. I'll help you with this, okay? Let's do this.
I do have some Irish in me.
Let's do that. So anyway, starting on March the 15th, you don't want to miss this. CS Designs is going to be putting together an event that they are calling 3-Point Special. Book with 2 friends and get 20% off of each person.
Oh, cool.
And they're also going to do a unique basketball-themed splatter paint experience, which I think this is really creative.
Yeah, sounds like fun, too.
Cheyenne comes up with all kinds of fun stuff. But so create art using basketballs and hoops, perfect for all ages and all skill levels. So you might want to give her a call. She's at 318 North Main.
Plus, it's kind of a opportunity to let your hair down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Have
almost
some
that
fun.
time, yeah.
Because it's painting, but you're also throwing basketballs and hula hoops at, the canvas or whatever your canvas is. And that's a little cathartic, a little stress relief, a little fun. It's a chance to do something out of character. Because most people are like, oh, I'd never do anything like that. But why not?
Yeah.
Here's because you're worried about the mess and everything. Well, this is what this place is for.
This is all it's all about.
Go do
messy.
it. Get a little messy.
Yeah,
That's
get a little
the whole
messy.
thing. Have some fun. Let your hair down a little bit.
So that's going to be Saturday, March the 15th, all day from 10 to 4 o'clock. So you might want to call Cheyenne and schedule some time there. Now, it's already time for those kids to be taking that spring break. You don't know what you're going to do with them. So
we're about a week away.
Yeah.
Next week or the week after, something like that.
So CS Designs has put together a Craft and Create Spring Break Kids Camp.
Cool.
It'll be March 18th through the 20th. It'll be 11 to 2 p.m. The ages are 5 to 12 years old, and there is an early bird special. So if you get your kids in there sooner than later, maybe you'll get in on that special and actually give your kids something really fun to do, some some art. Let them be creative and that type of thing. So that's going to be fun for us.
Well, it defines their niches. You know, when you, especially younger kids, you want to expose them to as much things to find out what they're interested in.
Yeah.
The kids don't know what they're interested in until they try things.
That's
and
right.
So, you know, if the kid's not into art, well, you'll find out there at the event. But you may find out the kid, that's their niche.
Right.
That's their thing. And that just set the table for whatever they choose their path.
You know,
in.
a lot of times kids are in this place where they're like, no, I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever done it? No. Have you ever tried it?
Yeah.
No. Just
Well, let's
kind of
do
like,
it.
just kind of like food.
Yeah.
I don't
so let's
like
do it.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do
if you don't like
try
it after that, so be it. But at least say you did it and tried it.
Go try it.
Yeah, exactly. That's life, man. That's whole life.
That's life.
And if you're an adult and you have the same issue, I'd suggest maybe
maybe you need to
just
open
shut
up a
and
little
try
bit,
it
huh?
once in a while.
Oh,
too.
that's speaking to myself. So sorry.
All of us,
All of
myself
us.
included. We all need to. Sometimes you just need to show up and try it.
Yeah.
Just
So,
take
but
your
if
own
you're
notions
into
out of it.
so if you're into more of the UFO type thing, you might want to go to 116 East 2nd. That's a Roswell UFO spacewalk. It's over here going east on 2nd Street. That's a really cool tour. I've taken that one before, so you might want to go in there, and you again can get out of the heat later on.
I'm gonna say it's kind of dark and needs a lot of it. Takes you to different worlds and things. And so
glow
it's
in the
kind
dark
of a-
type things, and they're really fun. And if you're into books, the March sales are coming up. $5 a bag sale on March 5th.
Was that books again?
Yes, Books and Again at 308 North Richardson.
And they support the Roswell Public Library. That's a non.
Oh, yeah.
That's so like all the money you spend there and the books you donate there, that money goes back to the Roswell Public Library for their program.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
That's
a good reason to buy that.
It's a win-win, yeah.
Thanks, Mike. So it's $5 bag sale on March 5th, 15th, and 25th. And they have all types of in-store specials. It's a really great place to go at 308 North Richardson Avenue, 10 to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And, you know, while you're there, you might as well just meander down the block and go to the Miniature Museum if you've not been
Oh, that is so cool.
That is a really cool place.
And I don't care if you're 80 or 8. You're going to love it in there. It's just so much cool little things in there.
You know, we had a meeting in there, stakeholder meeting not too long ago in there. And a couple of the people that came were like, I've never been in here.
Yeah.
I have never seen all of this, the little teeny tiny little things that they have. It's just so much fun exploring.
As eclectic and as cool as the Anderson Museum is, it's like that in miniatures form.
In miniatures, yes.
If that makes sense.
And
Because if you go to the Anderson, and you could see literally anything in that museum. The miniatures is the same thing, but little.
But little. And they have curios, I guess you can call it, because they're curious things. They're odd things.
Oddities. That almost not quite Ripley's Believe It or Not level,
not
but
quite.
but in that ballpark.
Yeah. And so they're planning some really fun things as well for the UFO festival. So we're excited about that. So I want to tell you a couple of things. I have some of these save the date cards that I put here, and I know it's on TV, so I'm going to let you see that. But in the back of it, it's got a couple of QR codes. One of them is for the air races, because everybody's asking questions about the air races, and the other one's about the UFO festival. These will take you to that website that I told you, the UFOfestival.com website, and to the C. Roswell website, and also tells you about the air races.
And folks that are older like me, ask your grandkids or kids. That QR code's easy. They'll show you the smartphone. You just scan it, and it'll take you right to the website, whether it's the UFO Festival one or the air races one, and that way you don't have to type in the wwws and all that. It literally
just goes click.
It clicks, and then it zaps you right to their website, and you can do what you got.
It's almost things just move sometimes almost too fast.
It actually does work better. It's just sometimes you got to get through our old brains to get us to get there to see it, and that's one of those. It actually does. If you're up on the QR code.
Yeah, and actually I do get it that you need to get your kids to help you, because I'm actually having a younger man that's going to come help me with some Instagrams and that
I ain't gonna
type
lie,
stuff.
like when the QR code came, I was like, all right, I got to find that thing that I scanned that with. I don't know where that is on my phone, and that's where my wife has to help me.
Yeah, take up a little picture.
I'm that kind of stupid. So it's like I know the concept, I just don't know how to do it on my phone.
Yeah, whenever because it's kind of started back in the pandemic. When they were trying you. Check on the menu. They didn't hand you a menu.
Right, so
it was
all
a
these QR codes.
Yeah, it's all these QR codes.
They find out that in some instances it is a quicker way to quicker end to the mean on things. So,
yeah, and a big thank you to the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. They let us use their meeting room last week on the 27th.
And it was standing room only in that place.
It was standing room only, you guys. We had Phil And we also had Tony from the air races. This
Was
is
Fred there as well too?
Fred was there. Yeah.
We just had him on last time.
Yeah, Fred was there. Who did I say?
You said Fred, Tony?
Yeah, Fred and Tony.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry. Fred and Tony were both there. And they gave a quick overview of how many people were coming, what to expect, when they would arrive. And like I said, it was open to the public, and it was standing room only.
Yeah, it was a
I think
packed
it was
house
like
there.
50, 55 people
I know
showed up for
people
that.
said that, I tried to go, but they were full.
Yeah,
I heard several people.
I apologize for those of you that wanted
Well,
to get online.
that is a good problem to have.
That online kind of messed up on me.
Technology is technology, and sometimes it works great.
I want to get one of these younger kids to help me on that one. I thought it would work.
As a person that deals with it every day, I empathize with you on those, because I've had those days where everything's supposed to work and it just doesn't.
Just didn't, and I was like, and I kept getting text messages.
Yeah.
Where is it?
And
Where is it? And I'm like, I'm trying.
And my problem is I'm sitting at a football game, and then people are like, "Where's the game?" And I'm like, "This stupid thing's not working."
It's not working. I'm getting there.
I swear,
but
I feel your pain.
It was great. So we were hoping, and we don't know yet. We have to wait to see if they're going to want us to do something. But myself and Andrea and other people in the community are open to have more, maybe specialized meetings if they'll allow us.
And
so talking about one specific thing you're interested in. Maybe you're not interested in where the RV parks are at, but you're more interested in how can my civic organization be involved.
Well, they're going to need an army of volunteers, and so your organizations.
Oh man, you just segued into the next thing that I need to talk about.
And so your organizations can really take advantage of this, both physically and financially. Making money for your organizations, but at the same time, getting good exposure for your organizations, getting good stuff. There's a lot of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities.
And as Fred was mentioning, they do have a soft spot for military and that. So if there's the vets groups
veterans groups and kids groups,
they do
and
show a little
groups.
bit of love to those vets groups and things.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. But just a really quick thing, I am not, I don't know everything about the national championship or races. I just put this on for the community and for the district. However, if you call me and you have questions, I will lead you in the right direction or pick up one of these cards.
I could tell you, if you're interested in volunteering, or if you even like students and scholarships and some of that kind of stuff, go to and that's what the QR code will take you. Airraces.org is where it'll go. Airraces.org.
That's right.
And then you can read, or like I said, we're just scanning that QR code, and I'm telling you, you'll learn everything you need to know about the air races, learn about their community. Like I said, the education and STEM and scholarship side of it. And, if you have kids that are interested in STEM, they might be able to get some money for schools.
Yeah, because they're really into that as well.
Yeah, this is, and also if you're interested in volunteering, if you're interested in, and of course, getting tickets and all that, they're going to have, like when we were talking to Fred, it sounds like they're going to offer like a Roswell local package for tickets versus, the out-of-towners, which we're going to get.
There's just going to be so many different opportunities to do something. But I'm so glad you talked about volunteers. This is up on my website, Mike. Volunteers needed for the UFO Festival.
Main Street Roswell's always in need of volunteers.
I am always in need of volunteers. So if you look at the Main Street Roswell Facebook, it'll tell you who to call or who to email. Yeah. We're going to be setting up a volunteer team. The volunteers will have T-shirts. They will have a section of where they can work. And because there's so much going to be happening, Mike, during that time with the 7 blocks of Main Street being closed down, there's going to be opportunity everywhere.
Absolutely. And this is something where yes, we desperately need you for UFO Festival. But I would argue there's so many events throughout the year that that you could get involved with as a volunteer, whether it's some of the other downtown events, Chili Cheese festivals or those types of events, to even if it's just to
help beautify our community.
Yeah, or sometimes in the spring they go plant flowers, or if they're going to do a kind of a cleanup somewhere at one of the parks or one of the Main Street public spaces.
And you don't
downtown.
have to come to everything we do. But maybe if planting flowers is your thing, we will have planting day on Main Street. I believe the date we're looking at is May the 1st. I'm still trying to get that gelled, but I believe that's the date we're looking for. So all the pots that you see down.
Well, the way the weather's going, I don't know if any time's the right time to plant around here.
Wait. Let's just wait a little bit. Maybe give it a month or two. But either way, Main Street is responsible for all the pots downtown. Roswell seed provides us with flowers.
Long-time Main Street.
Main Street.
Home to Main Street for over 100 plus years.
Yeah, longer than we've been around, probably.
They were older than Main Street.
So they provide us some really beautiful flowers. So if that's your thing, let me know. But we'll try to provide you guys with some T-shirts, and we're also trying to create a group that's going to be called the Hype, and it's going to be the Downtown Hype.
Nice.
And so they're going to be kind of like ambassadors of Main Street. So if you have interest in that, let me know.
And this is where I would think, like, if there's young folks that are, like, maybe you're pursuing careers in college or marketing and those type of things, maybe this is where your volunteer could be helping on this thing, like with the Hype and things a lot, working with social media, using the technologies to get word out about Main Street Roswell.
Yeah,
and
I
what's
could
going
use office help anytime. I'm the only employee.
Well, that's
so,
it. That's quite frankly, people like Barbara and myself that we weren't born into these worlds, and so it's a foreign language to us on some of these
sometimes
things.
On
and
some
so,
of it.
So and maybe not even just the physically of doing the thing, but the concepts of what these things do.
Yeah.
Folks like you and I, we kind of learn it later. It's like, oh, did you know you could do this thing with the QR code? And people are like, yeah, we've been doing it for 5 years.
Okay, well, I'm a little slow.
And so some of you folks that have been telling us, yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years. That's what we're saying. Volunteer this time. Say, hey, well, I could create an app or whatever it is that does this thing and do this. And or through the social media, you can create a link to a thing or a page for a poll for this or whatever. That creamy. That we could desperately use volunteers that are good at that kind of stuff.
If you're younger and you're into this
or just
stuff,
savvy
you don't
in
have
that
to.
stuff.
If you're just savvy in it.
Because I say younger because I'm just mostly
I'm old,
it's going to be younger folks that know this.
Yeah. But I could really use some help with that. So if you want to come to the office, you don't really want to be out in the sun, and you just want to come and help me file, that would be really awesome as well.
That's not everything is necessarily working a booth at an event.
No.
However, we love because we need a lot of those
that
folks.
A lot.
And there are perks. Like you said, usually there's exclusive, like UFO Festival, there's
There's
swag,
food,
there's
swag,
opportunities,
there's
experiences you get
experiences,
that no one else gets.
Yeah.
That's part of that.
So the other thing that you were talking about earlier, Mike, about blowing away while we were busy working on benches.
Yes.
So I did post some information about Bottle Cap to Benches program. It is still happening.
I'm so glad that is.
It is not completely just a Main Street type of a program.
It shouldn't be.
It's being done through the community.
It just
but
makes
Main
too much
Street,
dang sense not to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Main Street adopted it with the help of Bianca over at Southwest Print. But she gave us a list of things that are acceptable. So if a lot of people bring me a bag full of bottle caps, I really didn't know, Mike, what the sorting entailed.
Yeah,
what it was all about.
There is a kind of certain types that it just can't
method
take.
to their madness, I guess you can say. But you get all these caps, you turn them around. Some of them are really clean and look great. Some of them still have milk on the inside, or they still are kind of dirty. We don't have time to clean those all out. We really, really don't. So if you could help us out by
just rinse them off
a little bit and bag them up. But some of the things that are acceptable are medicine bottle caps.
The pill bottles?
With the pill bottles. Just the bottle caps, not the bottles.
Not the orange part, just the white top there.
Seriously, just plastic caps, okay?
Just the top. Yeah.
So milk jug, detergent, hairspray, toothpaste, deodorant, applesauce pouch caps.
Okay.
Drink caps like the soda, water, juice, sport drinks. The flip top for ketchup and mustard.
Okay, those white plastic. Yes.
Spray paint caps, ointment tube caps, baby food caps. Not metal, so it's got to be plastic. Shampoo containers, and then somebody had posted on Facebook and said, "Wait a second, you said you want caps, but I see a bunch of lids. Lids are also acceptable, like cottage cheese, mayonnaise, yogurt, peanut butter.
As long as they're plastic.
As long as they're plastic, and some of them, you can remove. If you can remove the paper, please do. But if some of them are like painted on, just leave them. What they do with these is they take them and they turn them into little tiny little bits, and they become like this, Mike. Look at that beautiful red bench.
Yeah.
And these are completely durable, all recyclable benches.
Yeah, this is the cool part about it. If you're not really familiar with this program, is they'll take, for every, I don't know the magic number, a couple hundred pounds of these caps.
They're a lot, yeah.
That equals one of these benches. And these benches, and what's the great part about these benches is they're actually an upgrade over the park bench.
They really
are.
Because
it's one of the problems with the park bench is graffiti, vandalism, abuse. That just tends to happen because they're sitting at bus stops and various places like that. And so these benches, they're not graffiti proof. Like if you spray paint on them, they will take paint.
But they're solid.
They're solid.
Are all the way through is the same color. So
Yeah.
if it's red, it's all the way through the whole
And
thing.
so they can sand it real
sand
quick,
it down real
and it's
quick,
gone.
and it's gone. Yeah.
They're made from a very durable material, so they're resistant. They don't rust. They don't fall apart. And it's all made from recycled material. So it's really
helping
doing the whole
environment.
reuse,
You
reduce,
guys
recycle.
helping. Yeah.
And I don't I get it. Some people are green and not green, but here's the thing: at the end of the day, you're taking something and giving it a new life, and you're actually making a product that is better than the previous product.
Yeah.
And so it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah,
so that's
it really,
why
really
I'm,
is.
I'm glad to see more than, Main Street, everybody and their uncle.
So it's not just a Main Street project. However, because like I said, some of them, those benches are going to go into the new cultural plaza, the Chaves County Cultural Plaza, that will be located east of Virginia.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. It's moving along. Let's just say that it's moving along.
Everything's glacial, especially when government gets involved.
You know what? The cool part about it is, Mike, it's been, number one, a real pleasure working with the county, but number two, the project is like 100% ready to go. You know what our holdup is right now? We got no bids because everybody is so busy with the flooding
and all that.
So as soon as we get a contractor, maybe we'll have a grand opening, groundbreaking ceremony of some sort. But some of those benches are going there. We also, you said, we talked about that the foundation over at the pickleball courts, they bought 4 of those for that area. But the ones that are on Main Street, for those of you that are interested, many of them have a little plaque on them honoring somebody.
Great.
So if you want to honor somebody, let us know. I mean, there's private people that are honoring their family members. There's community people like Juliana that's being honored. There's people like Johnny Gonzalez. You guys might remember him.
Oh, Johnny's was a staple on our show.
Yeah,
for many
he was
years.
gre's And his wife is still doing that work.
Yeah.
And then over there next to the museum.
Mary's still out there doing her thing. Yeah.
Yeah, over there next to the museum, there's a there's a bench there that's honoring the fireman, the fireman that died, that we lost.
Fireworks incident, yeah.
So I'm telling you all that to tell you, I have benches that do not have any names on them. So give me a call. If you want to honor somebody, let me know.
Sure.
We would love to help you out
We
with
have
that.
a lot of folks in our community that are worthy of those
Yes,
things. That
exactly.
probably would never seek it out. So
Exactly.
sometimes we need to do it for them.
Anyway, I think that's all I got this morning, Mike. I can't think of anything else. But
Of course, if you have any questions about anything, MainStreetRoswell.org is the website you can go to. Don't forget the UFO Festival website. It's not fully up into its thing yet, but it will be here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, you can still look there. We'll be giving you direct.
More information will be coming soon.
We'll be giving you directive as it comes.
You may not find all of your answers there yet, but those will be in there as we get there.
We're working on an online process, Mike, for vendors, and that's what's kind of been taking a little while. But we're trying to make this easier all the way around. So then it'll give you information like, where do I get my permits? What do I need? What insurance do I need? So when you get here, you're not going, oh, crap, I didn't do that part.
Right.
Let me go back and fix it.
So paperwork's filed, everything's in ducks in a row. You set up shop and start festivaling. Basically.
And you might be able to even get to pick your own spot. How's that?
That'd be nice.
So we're working on it.
But
thank
early
you.
bird gets worms on these kind of things.
You know
so.
what? You're right. I didn't think about that. I should put that on there instead of first come first serve. I should put early. What is
early
it?
bird get worms.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Then maybe that'll do that.
And of course, don't forget you can follow Main Street Roswell on Facebook as well. If you have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to shoot them out there, and Barbara or one of the staff will or say staff volunteers.
Well, the whole staff of Barbara. No,
well,
not really.
Like
but some of the boards do volunteer. Some of the board members do volunteer and help out, so that is good. Yeah. But again, our email address is mainstreetroswell@gmail.com. That's the one that starts with Main Street Roswell. The other one starts out with ed@mainstreetroswell.org.
Gotcha.
I'm getting ready to change that to something else, but everybody sends me emails saying, hello, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
No, I'm the executive director. I'm not Ed.
I ain't gonna lie. Because when we were talking about the meeting and all that, I was like, email Ed at. That's how I kept saying it.
I know. I'd like to say Ed, but then people that don't know that it stands for executive director or it's me will send emails. Dear Ed.
I just, whatever gets it in people's brains, that's how I'm going to do it.
That's a good idea. Well,
I'm a path at least. Whatever got got you to remember it.
Yeah.
That's because that's how I live. I'm like, I'll put a thing on. That's how I remembered it. It's stupid, but that's what I did.
Yeah,
to remember it.
no, that's okay.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm going to have to change it pretty soon here.
It's going away. Sorry, Ed.
Sorry, Ed.
Well, thank you, Barbara.
Well, you're very welcome.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
And, don't work too hard. Stay out of the wind.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
See you later.
9:52. Let's pause for news and commercials and sports and all that. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Health confirming that the deceased resident of Lee County who was unvaccinated tested positive for measles. The official cause of death still under investigation by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator. However, Department of Health Scientific Lab has confirmed the presence of the measles virus. The individual did not seek medical care before passing away. The only prevention, according to experts, for the highly contagious respiratory illness is vaccination. With ongoing exposures in Lee County, the New Mexico Department of Health is urging residents to get vaccinated to protect themselves and their families. Carlsbad Caverns National Park has instituted some preventative measures due to extreme wildfire danger. Fire, charcoal, and propane grills are now strictly prohibited. Smoking is also prohibited except inside personal vehicles, and open flames and cooking stoves are now not allowed in the backcountry. The increased fire danger is due to prolonged hot, dry, and windy weather. These factors result in extremely dry vegetation that is highly susceptible to even the smallest spark. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Well, the sun is shining, the temperatures are up, and all is right with the world because Roswell Ford is back open for business, and their service department is open to help you over there at the corner in 9th and Main, 821 North Main. Now, Roswell Ford's goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford or a quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. But if you still love your old ride, well, they understand, and their service department is second to none. They can get it taken care of for you, whether it's just routine maintenance or you need something more done to your vehicle. The parts and service department here at Roswell Ford, they know what they're doing. Stem to stern, they've seen your car and they know the problems that plague those vehicles. So if you need work on your ride, come on down to the parts and service department here at Roswell Ford, back home at the corner of 9th and Main, 821 North Main to be specific. They got burgers and dogs for you, waiting for you right over here at Roswell Ford, where they've been for generations, but with a whole new attitude and ready to serve you.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Full slate of basketball tonight and tomorrow. It's the first round of the state playoffs. Let's start on the girls' side where Roswell, the 14th seed, plays at number 3 Mayfield tonight at 6 o'clock. Goddard, the 16th seed in 4A, plays top-seeded Kirtland Central this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Dexter, 15th seed in 3A, at number 2 West Las Vegas. That starts at 6. And Gateway Christian, 11th seed in 1A, at number 6 Cliff. That's the same matchup for the boys' side tomorrow. Gateway Christian, the 9th seed. Cliff is the 8th seed. For Class 2A, Hagerman, the 10th seed, at number 7 Rehoboth. That's tomorrow at 3. NMMI, the 12th seed in Class 3A, at number 5 Bosque. 16th seeded Goddard in 4A at number 1 St. Pius, and 4th seeded Roswell will be playing host to Carlsbad tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm today, but we have a cold front set to sweep in through the southwestern states tonight and tomorrow. Going up to 70 today, it will be a little windy with a few gusts around 40 miles an hour. Overnight, some clouds were in the mid-30s. We have a slight chance of a few showers on Saturday. Afternoon highs will be cooler, right around 50, and then sunshine and warming up on Sunday, back to the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. America's employers added 151,000 jobs last month. The Labor Department says the healthcare, financial services, and transportation fields led the way in hiring. The unemployment rate ticked up a notch to 4.1%. The world's second largest economy got off to a rocky start this year. China reports exports rose a less than expected 2.3% in January and February from a year earlier, while imports fell more than 8% in a slow start to a year dogged by uncertainty over U.S. tariffs and other policies. Economists had forecast that exports would rise 5% year on year. Chipmaker Broadcom shares soared 1.1% after beating analyst expectations, while issuing an upbeat forecast based on strong demand for AI chips. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
So the sun's out, the temps are up, and I know what you're thinking. Adventure is out there. The road is waiting to meet you. And I agree, it's definitely out there. But before you hit the open road, head to Roswell Ford first at their home at 821 North Main, back where they belong, because Roswell Ford's goal is to get you behind the wheel of your new or pre-owned vehicle fast, easy, and more affordably than you can believe. In fact, they'll give you a price that they would give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring them any trade, any condition, you don't even have to wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome, and making payments on your current vehicle is weighing you down. Well, Roswell Ford is here to say they can help you out. They can get you out of your trade even if you owe thousands more than your vehicle is worth. And don't even worry about credit, because it's not a situation at Roswell Ford. Rates as low as 0% APR, and they've got great vehicles across the lot. Come by and see them. They got burgers, chips, and drinks waiting for you at the all-new Roswell Ford at the corner of 9th and Main, where they've been for generations, back home and ready to serve you.
Coming this April 4th and 5th, the My Ashley Foundation, in cooperation with the Downtown Lions Club in Artesia, New Mexico, present their first annual golf tournament and banquet featuring guest speaker Kevin Sorbo.
Now, I am very excited to be heading to Artesia, New Mexico on April 4th, 5th, and 6th for a very special weekend with our dear friends Mark and Lorraine Richards and the incredible My Ashley Foundation. Friday night, we're going to kick off things with a very special dinner and an auction. And then on Saturday, we're going to hit the golf course, which is my favorite thing, for a day of fun, laughter, and maybe even a little competition. I do get a little competitive. And on Sunday, we're going to be gathering up for a time of worship and fellowship at Harvest Fellowship Church. You don't want to miss this. Be sure to bring your tickets, grab them right now, and join us in supporting this incredible outreach that are making a real difference in Artesia. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. God bless.
For golf reservations and sponsorships, call the ACC Pro Shop 575-746-6732. And for individual banquet tickets, call the Artesia Chamber of Commerce 575-746-2744. All proceeds will go to the Artesia Lions Club and the My Ashley Foundation to support the organization's community service and outreach programs.
They are raising the pressure on Russia to end its war against Ukraine. White House correspondent Greg Cluxton has the report.
Writing on social media, the president said he's strongly considering sanctions and tariffs on Russia in hopes of forcing a settlement to the war in Ukraine. He said such sanctions could remain in place until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. The president, who has been reluctant to criticize Russia for its invasion, urged both countries to get